Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Box. Tonight, I'm tired.
You are.
I am tired. I'm tired. It's okay though. Ugh.
But
My
you're
sleep,
here.
my sleep is just so weird lately. I don't even know what's going on with it. I've been going to bed fairly early. Like I said last night, I was on with Abe, and my internet went. So I was like, "Oh, that must be a sign to go to bed." But when I go to bed that early, I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And then I can't go back to sleep. And I'm up all day. And then I start getting tired early at night. And it's like, ugh. So I think my sleep schedule is trying to do the big shift around again, like before. Don't know why. But
I hear you.
so, how was your day?
It was fun. I didn't do too much, but I went to the grocery store and I had a little story I wanted to tell you about the grocery store. So,
Oh no, I'm
yes.
scared.
So yesterday, I had a girl out with her daughter to ride horses, right, in the arena. And we had a lot of fun. We were doing all kinds of like they do this drill team patterns, and I was doing it with them, and it was a lot of fun. And so my horse, when I got done, she's fidgeting around. I'm trying to get the saddle off, and I'm trying to get her over there close to where I can lift it up because the saddle's pretty heavy, and I'm trying to get it up on the rack and hold her, take the saddle off, and put the saddle up there. And she always pulls me every time I go to put the saddle up. And so I started calling her Sally. I go, "Come on, Sally, behave yourself." And and then I'm like, "Sally? Who's Sally?" I'm asking myself, why did I just call my horse Sally? You know? And then I'm like, "Okay, Sally, behave yourself." And I was like, "That's, funny." So I'm like, "Okay, God, who's Sally? Why did I call her Sally?" So when I went to the grocery store today, right? I I'm in the grocery store and we're in the aisle, and this lady, she's in her 80s, and she was shopping and she's in the aisle, and me and Joel walked by, and she says something. She starts talking to me, and so I respond back to her, and we started to have a conversation. Turns out her name is Sally. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. So she introduced herself and as Sally, and I'm thinking, okay, so that's who I was talking to last night. Okay, Sally. You
you're
know,
talking to some old lady in the grocery store. That's funny.
Yeah, before I met her, and we had this conversation, Brenda, that is very interesting. She she and I were talking, and immediately, because she's a Christian, and we talked about, um, because she was asking me, where I go to church, and I said I have God, and I love Jesus, so I said, but as far as churches go, I've been to all of them. I started off in Nazarene, or I went to Lutheran school when I was a child, and I went to the Baptist churches, and I went to the Pentecostal and the non-denominational churches, and so I've been through all the religions and everything, all the
Right.
different ones, and I've read the Bible 7 times, from beginning to end, and studied it and everything. And I said, but the truth of the matter is, because well, the conversation was about Thanksgiving. She asked me something about Thanksgiving. That's how she started the conversation. And I said, well, we don't do any of the holidays. And she says, why not? Isn't it a good thing that you get together? And I said, I think it's a great thing that you do it and that you have fun and you enjoy it, but it doesn't work for me. And I
Right.
said, I don't need those things. And she's like, well, okay, and I said, well, first off, because she explained, a little bit about Thanksgiving, and I said, yeah. And I said, well, first off, it's a turkey day, and I
You know,
don't believe in killing or harming animals, and so it's a day that people, you know, kill turkeys and eat them, you know. So I don't really feel a need to do that. And then she's like, oh, and I said, um, then she started to quote a scripture in the Bible in the New Testament about how Paul let down the sheet of the animals, and I said, well, that most of that, the New Testament is written. It's basically, actually, most of the Bible is written by a guy named Paul, who never even knew Jesus. It was like 100 or 200 years later, and wrote about him. Okay, that's what the New Testament. So I said,
right.
most of the Bible is written from the Catholic Church. It's a Catholic religion. She goes, well, I'm not Catholic, and it's like, so she said a comment, and I said, that's true. A lot of the Bible is got other books and stuff like that, but um, I said, now, do you know anything about the Mandela effect? And she didn't know because she's like 80 years old, doesn't know, right? And I said, well, let me explain this to you. Okay. I said, first off, I'm going to explain what time isn't what you think it is. Time isn't the way you think time is. Okay. And now, if you were to go, I'm going to explain this to you so that you'll understand. And I said, if you were to go home and you were to get your grandmother's Bible or your Bible at home, and you were to look up this scripture, you wouldn't find this scripture. Okay, and that's the one, Isaiah 11:6, about the lion lays down with the lamb, right? I said,
Right.
but you're not going to find that scripture because it doesn't it doesn't exist in the Bible anymore. And I said, and you read the Bible, right? And she said, yeah. And you know that scripture? She says, yes, I do. I know that scripture. Okay. I said, she goes, well, that's because they changed the Bible. And I said, no, you go home and get your Bible that you've owned your whole life that you read in. I said, it was probably back in the 80s when the scripture disappeared out of the Bible. And I said, I literally watched the Bible in real time, words change in front of my face. I saw it happening. Okay. She said, you saw it changing in front of your face? And I'm like, yes. And I said, well, and I said, if you go find that scripture now, it will say, the wolf will dwell with the lamb. And she looked at me and I said, it said lion and lamb. She said, yes, it did. And I said, and so then I said, also, the other one that's very weird for me is the fact that a 1611 King James version of the Bible now says matrix 5 times. And, that word was never in the Bible. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, matrix. And I go, do you know what it used to say before? And she looked at me, and I said, it used to say womb. So it's saying now all that enter the matrix is mine. And she said, where is that in the Bible? I said, well, it's in Exodus and Deuteronomy, and it's in like 5 different scriptures. So, she was like, so what I told her was basically that, now I didn't get into a whole lot more information, but, I didn't, I gave her a big hug, and then I said, what is your name? And she said, Sally. And I was like, now I know why I was calling my horse Sally yesterday.
Poor Joel's standing there going, Mom, can we finish grocery shopping?
Yeah. Joel's like, Mom, can we shop? Do you have to talk to everybody in the grocery store? I said, look, I didn't start the conversation, Joel. But
Oh my gosh.
Brenda, we as we got done talking to Sally, and it was so nice. She said she goes to a Church of Christ down the road, and she said well, I'm 80 years old, and and she's like, she's so nice. So I made a good friend with Sally, and we went down another aisle, and we went down and ran, and then Joel seen somebody he knew, and he goes, hey, and then he stops, and then there we are talking for 30 minutes with him, hanging out with him, and he was telling me all kinds of stories, and we got on the subject, and he brought up somebody named Killary.
Yeah.
We know who that
Yeah.
is, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
know exactly who that is.
That conversation went that direction, and but Yeah. So we were like, I was like, Joel, I think our ice cream's going to be melted now at the.
Hello,
Oh.
Woo. Hi, Chad.
Yeah,
That's
guys.
me.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Who's in there now? We got Juan.
Uh,
I see Juan. I see you say Woo.
yeah,
I
Woo's in there.
see. Hey, I see Brenda's in there.
Chad's in there. Yeah, I was in there
Brett.
chatting. Brett,
Brett's in there. And Zen. That's
Chad.
Chad. Yeah, I was gonna
Yes.
say is even though it's Zen, I have to go. Wait, no, that's not Chad. It's Chad. Joanne. Who's
Yeah.
Joanne? Do we know Joanne?
Oh,
Hi, Joanne
probably
and
a
Woo.
newcomer. It's okay. We
So
welcome all. So tonight, guys, we're gonna hit a controversial um,
we're having a fun show tonight, guys.
subject. We are going to talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk, his wife, and a few other things. Now, I have to
Yeah.
stay neutral on this, um,
Yeah, we want to stay neutral. We want you all to think for yourself outside the box
but
and look at all the evidence and then tell us what y'all think
I'm
about
gonna
all of this. Yeah.
right, and I'm also gonna give you a couple of takes on a um, law enforcement side of certain things because there's a lot of
Yep.
controversy. So, um, which is laughable. Um, so that is what we're going to do tonight. We have some videos, we have a few TikToks, other people's point of views. Um, so it's going to be fun, and it needs to be fun. And you guys got to keep me on my toes because I am so tired. I sat here the whole time with Suzy backstage for like 10 minutes, just yawning.
Yawning. Yep,
I'm
she did.
tired. I'm tired. Like I said, I was on Abe's show last night, and my internet went, and I thought, okay, that's a sign. I need to go lay down.
Even your internet was tired.
So my internet was tired.
That's why we
My
decided to
internet,
come on a little early tonight, not so late, right?
yeah. And I don't
So,
even know if Abe's having a show tonight because I don't know if he's going out tonight or not. But yeah, I have a little bit of an earache, so I think that's just kind of wearing me down a little bit. So, um, and earlier I was sitting here laughing because when we started talking, the dog did a deep inhale, and all you hear is him grunting, and I'm like, oh my god! And I seen my screen light up, so I know it was on there. My dog snores really bad, y'all. he just he has doesn't hardly have a nose, so when he breathes, he just snores. Poor little thing. Look at him. He
well,
looks
and
so
I think
comfortable.
and I think our first video is going to be well. What I figured we started off with is we'll talk about, or we're going to show this on Snake Eyes, and the comparison between how movies are made about us. Movies tell us, and how I believe the fallen angels or the powers that be or the dark or the angels reveal these things to us, or like it says, there's nothing new under the sun, and everything is being revealed. I think this stuff is all put out there before, and it's kind of like a little bit of propheticness, telling the future of what's going to happen, things that come. Because every time you read the Bible, it's always about things to come, things that happened, things that are going to happen.
And me, on
You
the
know,
other hand, I think that they take these scripts and people go from them, and they years later they say, "Hey, we're going to make this and throw this in everybody's face. So let's do this. The
yeah.
world is a stage."
See, we all have our own
Mm-hmm.
way of figuring this out in our brain, trying to make sense
Yeah,
of it all. But it is crazy, no matter how you look at it or how you
right.
put it together. It's just crazy.
It is. It's crazy. And I've just been sitting here just for days, just shaking my head, going, you know what? people should just be rolling around in their graves right now because of what all's going on. So this is going to be our first video because I do believe this is like 25 minutes long. But
it's really good. We're going to stop and talk about things. And if you guys got questions and want to interrupt it, just throw your question into the chat.
Yep. Throw it in there. Throw it in there. And we got, and by the way, Chad, I messaged you to see if you wanted to jump in with us. So send me a message and let me know, and I can send you the link if you want to jump on in. And because we could always use more opinions on things. So it's, it makes it interesting. All right, let's do this. This is the oh my God, predicted Charlie Kirk. What they call it? Predicted Charlie Kirk assassination. Snake Eyes movie, 1998.
Hey guys. So there's this movie that a few of you in the comments recommended I check out because it seems to predict the Charlie Kirk assassination. And it's honestly kind of insane and scary. This movie's from 1998. It's called Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage. Now let me just start out by saying that I'm not implying anything. I'm literally just going to break down the movie and point out a few connections. But I want to make it clear that I think it's still too soon to come to any conclusions. That said, I find it beyond bizarre that this movie's basically about a politician named Charles Kirkland who gets assassinated during a live event, he gets shot in the neck, and it looks shockingly similar. It occurs during a boxing match and the boxer's named Lincoln Tyler, who in the movie keeps out Cowans and eavesdroppers, meaning he's a Masonic guard or executioner. He's the Atlantic City executioner. Oh, and the fight and assassination just happens to be on September 10th, the same exact day.
When we set out to make back with Mega Bowls, we didn't tread lightly. We jam-packed them full of hearty goodness.
Now look, there are some crazy implications if this really is predictive programming or a planned event. I'm not necessarily saying that's the case. I'm open to the idea of a cosmic joker, or even the idea of magic and mimetic entities where this movie in a sense is programmed reality to manifest it, hinting towards a simulated reality. Or honestly, I would even say the Mandela effect because I've literally never heard of this movie. But it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to break down the movie and you can come to your own conclusions.
Now, in 1998, I used to see a lot of movies back then, okay? I mean, I lived in California. This is what we did. And his point also, because in 1998, I was around, I was old enough, I don't remember this movie, which is odd. So, we'll keep going.
This movie to me fits into the category of 90s truth bomb movies that have a slight political motive or undertone, whether that's to disclose something or to program the masses for what's coming. Kind of like Enemy of the State, for example, but Snake Eyes isn't so in your face and it's not necessarily directed at a conspiracy audience. The film opens with a newscaster hyping the live Powell pay-per-view event. On the billboard you see it says Atlantic City Executioner, Tyler vs. Ruiz, September 10th. Now I did want to say that I'm not completely sure if this is September 10th. That's what everyone else is saying, but I'm not exactly sure if that's a 10. I mean, that's what's going viral right now and everybody seems to think that it says September 10th. But in the film there's only one hint to what the date is. And it's this beginning scene with the billboard above the 3 visible pillars. And no matter what, it is clear that this takes place at 10 p.m. So it would still have the same symbolism. She also says this is the final event to be held in this storied hall before it gets renovated into the Millennium Hotel and Casino. And all of this is happening during Hurricane Jezebel. Yet 14,000 people still decided to come watch the fight. Nicolas Cage plays Rick Santoro, this cocky, corrupt cop who's mostly there to gamble in the fight. So the first 5 minutes is just Rick being Rick, running around the casino trying to put money on the fight. When he gets down by the ring, he links up with his old buddy, Commander Kevin Dunn. This military guy who's basically in charge of security for the Secretary of Defense, Charles Kirkland. The secretary shows up at the fight because he wants the publicity of being seen at a big event. Mr. Gilbert Powell's here, but the movie quickly moves on as it doesn't seem to want to talk about this guy that much directly, but he is a huge character in the background of this entire story. After catching up, they sit down to watch the fight when Dunn gets distracted by a red-haired woman in a red dress. He eventually gets up and follows her out.
Which is supposed to be a Lilith.
About a minute later, a woman in a blonde wig and
Red
white
hair.
outfit sits down next to Rick and tries to talk to the Secretary of Defense. The fight continues, and a man in the crowd starts yelling.
So, basically, in 1998, when this movie came out, our government was still doing slimy shit. I see it already.
There you go. You
You
nailed it.
got it.
Here comes the pain, right as Lincoln Tyler gets knocked out and hits the floor. Rick gets a phone call from someone telling him to look for his lucky number, and then all of a sudden, shots go off. The secretary gets shot in the neck, and like I said earlier, it looks shockingly similar to what really happened. I'm not going to describe it more than that, but another weird detail is that Nick Cage kind of touches his ear like the bullet grazed him, but I don't think that's what happened. I think it's just blood splatter. Still, it feels like a strange little reference there.
Like Trump.
Chaos breaks out, and the woman in the wig is also shot. They both hit the floor and take cover, while up at the top of the stadium, a security guard fires on the assassin. Meanwhile, Tyler the fighter is supposed to be knocked out, but he's looking around because he hears the shots, and Rick notices this. The crowd starts trying to get out, including the woman in the wig, now revealed to have dark hair, who's trying to slip away. Dunn shows back up, and Rick tells him the woman next to the secretary threatened him, got shot, and then tried to run. Rick starts taking control and he shuts down the arena, and we see beneath all this cocky corruption, he's actually a sharp undercover cop. And the movie starts mentioning tunnels. They come up multiple times throughout the story. The secretary's body is wheeled out
And there
through
was
these
a
back hall
tunnel
tunnels as they try to rush
underneath
him to the hospital.
What?
Charles got shot. They were talking about that hatch with a tunnel under there.
That was
Another
trapdoor.
similarity.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that later on because I got a few things I got to say about all of that.
Okay.
Dunn is freaking out, blaming himself because he was supposed to be standing in front of the secretary, but got distracted by that red-haired woman, so he wasn't there to protect him. Now he's scared he's going to be court-martialed, but Rick tells him to relax, cover the story, and just say that he was investigating a suspicious character. Dunn says that he can't lie, and Rick says, look, it's not lying, just tell them what you did right. Basically, cover this up or it's the end of your career. He killed the assassin. He saved the day. Leave it at that. They start talking about the woman with the envelope and trying to find her. Then, one of Rick's TV friends from the news shows up and wants to get the first press hit. But Rick doesn't want images of the dead secretary shown. He says it'd be sick for the family to see. And what's weird is how many times that the script reminds you that this Charles had a family. Like, have a heart, don't show it. And Lou, the pay-per-view host, sees this as a breaking opportunity and offers Rick $5,000 if he can be the one to report it.
Hold the elevator.
You held the door.
Hold the elevator.
Thank you.
Reward yourself at Schlotsky's.
And you
Mountain
what?
Performance
They're
TV
gonna
is the
keep
hardest working
showing
software in
food,
television. Get started today at
all of us can
mountain.com.
sit here and say, I am so
He
hungry.
even mentions this guy who got into media through the Kennedy assassination. But it's no accident that this movie brings this up. They're specifically tying this to the idea of psyop and conspiracy. Rick, corrupt as he is, lets him do it, just no cameras in their arena. Rick starts to review the knockout footage because he already noticed that Tyler wasn't really out cold. Watching it back, he realizes the punch never landed, so Tyler took the fall on purpose, right before the shots. Meanwhile, the woman in the wig is trying to get the blood off of her in the bathroom. So Rick decides to go talk to this Tyler guy, who's looking nervous, but he decides to talk to Rick because he's an old high school pal. Which is weird because they wear these rings. Now I find that strange because who do you know that wears around their high school rings from like 20 years ago? He went to Neptune High and he was a sea devil. Yep. Again, these references aren't by accident. And it zooms into these rings multiple times. Anyways, Rick knows he took the fall on purpose, and he's trying to investigate why he did that right before the assassination took place to see if he knows anything. Well, Tyler admits kind of that he took the fall, meaning the fight was rigged, but he doesn't want to admit it unless they cut some kind of deal. Rick says he's not going to tell anyone, just to pay him back the money he used to bet on him. Tyler then says he didn't know that they were going to kill someone, but he won't say who. We then get a flashback, and I should mention that Tyler's handler and lawyer is this guy named Mickey, where he's talking with one of the guys taking bets. He's talking about how the fight might be rigged and Lincoln is actually going to lose this one. Mickey seems to know about it and tries to talk Tyler out of it. But yeah, Tyler owed money to the casinos, so he took this offer because they said that they would get rid of all his debts if he threw this fight. Interestingly, they didn't tell him which round, but that someone in the crowd would let him know when to throw. Meaning during this event, there was an agent pretending to be a fan in the crowd who had a tiny radio earpiece telling him when to give the cue, which was him yelling, "Here comes the pain." Then Tyler was to fall on purpose because they wanted everyone on their feet distracted. Then Tyler says, "she." Rick says, "Who's she?" Then he kind of changes the subject and says, "You hear that storm out there? I wish it would blow this town away." Now this is kind of hard to catch because it's mid-casual conversation, but there's a reason he ignored Rick when he said, "Who's she?" and he starts talking about the storm. The storm is called Hurricane Jezebel, and then Rick says, "Yeah, but who is she?" talking about the red-haired woman in the red dress. This is almost certainly a Whore of Babylon
Brenda,
reference,
let's stop for a second.
as she is depicted in a...
Okay.
So when they talk about who is she and, is Jezebel, we have some other videos about how Candace talks about how there was an agency, Estes Witches, called Jezebel, that they cast some spells against Charlie, that, some bad things would happen to Charlie just a couple of weeks before, said it would happen around the time that it did. They pay these witches. And what's interesting is they put two spells on him, two curses on him, and this Jezebel witches. And the second witch's name was Lilin. Lilin, and we did the show about the Lilim or the Lilith or the, which is what they're referencing here in this movie. In this,
Right.
this is so insane how all these things are connecting, just like crazy. So go ahead.
Okay, ready? What on earth is she riding?
Red dress, and they just connected her to Jezebel. This almost certainly ties the film to esoteric references, as the Whore of Babylon is kind of a Masonic theme as well. It represents corrupted church, false authority, or an empire of lies. The idea is the truth is hidden, chaos is orchestrated, and ritual archetypes are repeated in public spectacles. So this woman with the red hair is the one who gave Tyler the directions to take the fall and rig the fight. The same woman Dunn was investigating when this first happened. Okay, this next scene is crazy. So Dunn is on the news now with Lou, talking about who this assassin is. They tell us the shooter is a Palestinian who lived in the United States for the last 6 years. He was upset about the sale of missile systems and other weaponry to Israel, and there was a handwritten note found on his body. Okay, this scene is bizarre for a bunch of reasons, but notice how Dunn is nervous here. Remember, he just said he can't lie, and he looks uncomfortable, the same way he did earlier when he was talking about lying. The movie does this on purpose to hint that this official story is actually a cover and false, that he's lying right now. Now Rick wants to talk to Dunn about what he's found, and from the start, Dunn is defensive and skeptical. This is where the conspiracy starts to be revealed. It wasn't a lone shooter. There were 5 people in on it. Not what the media is pushing right now. And the movie even nails that point that anyone talking about this will look like a lunatic. The film knows. And Dunn just keeps repeating the official story, saying we've got this huge file on this Palestinian guy. He's a known nutcase. He was ready to die for his cause.
Ski and ride Vail with Epic Day
There we go
Pass.
again.
Buy now and pay less than
I
lip
don't want to
tickets.
go. Come on. Well, that looks good. Here we are, food again.
Which is
Yeah,
really
there's
weird
the
if you
food.
think about the timing. This is 1998, 3 years before 9/11. They're already framing it as a suicide mission and even name dropping Allah. So there's a lot of predictive programming vibes here. And then he explains the Israel angle to Rick, but Rick just isn't really buying the whole official story. This is when Dunn starts to tell Rick about classified info. He talks about the Norfolk test in Renville. So basically, to break this down, Dunn is talking about a classified naval missile defense test. Dunn calls it the Norfolk test, which in the movie is this air guard system, supposedly way more advanced than the Sea Sparrow missiles the Navy already had. And this is kind of like a movie trick, because it's fiction, but it's not really fiction. Sea Sparrows are real. They are the ship-based anti-missile interceptors, so the writers are anchoring this in as something that the audience might vaguely recognize. And then Dunn drops a line about the Renville incident, which the movie never explains, but it sounds like shorthand for some Gulf War style disaster, like when the USS Stark got hit in '87. Basically a moment where the missile defense failed and people died. So now the Air Guard is the miracle system that would have saved the day. And the secretary was about to shut that whole thing down, which is why the conspiracy had to kill him. Because if Congress pulled the funding, the Israel contract falls apart. Powell loses his billions, and suddenly the patsy Palestinian terrorist story makes sense. It's all a false flag cover. So Dunn telling Rick this classified stuff is really him planting the narrative. He's basically saying, look, this is too important. National security. Don't look too close. Which is exactly how defense contractors sell the public every time a weapon system fails. Reframe it as, if only we had this new system earlier. And that's predictive programming. Rick hears him, but still thinks something weird is going on. And like I said, Dunn tells him to be very careful. We can't just go out there and yell conspiracy. It's like waving a lunatic flag. Oh, and during their conversation, it shows a flashback of the redhead distracting Dunn. And this seems bizarre because it doesn't make that much sense, but we can come back to that. So Rick runs off to investigate some more. The music then changes and we see that Dunn goes through a secret door into a tunnel. We find out Dunn is actually in on it, and there are 2 of his accomplices waiting on him. He tells him that the cop, Rick, figured them out and that they basically messed up. No one was supposed to suspect anything. And I'm assuming this woman is the red-haired woman and that was a wig, but I'm not 100% sure. The movie doesn't make it clear. But this guy is the guy he yelled, "Here comes the pain." Dunn ends up killing those 2 because he knows Rick has footage that will connect them back to him. So now Rick is hunting for the dark-haired woman through the casino security footage, and at the same time, Dunn and his team are trying to locate her. Well, Rick gets to her first, and they duck off to a little stairwell, and she finally reveals the truth. She works at Powell Aircraft. She builds the ballistic reports after weapons test, and the new missile air guard system that everyone's hyping has
Hang on 1
perfect
second.
results on paper, which is a red.
Brenda.
On hold.
So one of the things I'm going to show here later is that Erica Kirk's mother worked with some missile defense and worked with Israel on some contracts.
Right.
Yeah. So this is where Erica Kirk is involved with Israel, and her mother works with some weapons and some high-level stuff and some projects and stuff with the government. Her mother, Lori. So we'll get into that. So this is all getting a little weird. That's all I gotta say.
Flag, because tests are never perfect. So she knows that someone faked the numbers. They want the contract and the money. So she sends an anonymous email to the Secretary Kirkland. He actually replied and told her to bring proof. And so she pulls the original satellite infrared frames, and this was what was in the envelope that she tried to hand over at the fight. So we find out that the missile defense tests were staged. Nothing actually worked. It was just a fireworks show to trick Congress, push the contract through, and they were going to worry about the fallout later. Rick half believes her, but can't accept that Dunn would be in on it, because Dunn's his guy, the most honorable dude in the world. But on another level, this is Rick waking up. He can't accept that the government would be in on something this big.
No.
The movie even shows Dunn planting evidence in a fake suicide note. Then we cut to Powell melting down at Dunn, where he spells out the whole plan like a checklist. The prairie populist secretary goes down. The disloyal employee goes down with him. The fanatic terrorist takes the rap. Air Guard gets approved. Millennium gets finished. No humiliation, no scandal, no prison, just tie up loose ends. This is when it clicks for Rick that the second shot didn't miss the secretary, it missed her. She was the real target because the infrared stills would nuke the deal.
Things happen here, but no one really talks about it.
What exactly are we looking for? Something that was buried?
So he hides her in the room, locks the door, and tells her that he'll be back, and he's kind of stuck between the loyalty to Dunn and the receipts that are sitting in his hand. Also, I should note, Powell is supposed to be Trump. I'll explain that later, but you guys can already piece together why it would be so weird for Trump to be referenced in this movie. The film doesn't say it outright, but that's clearly who he's modeled on. Rick goes back to the arena to think, and we get a flashback to when he...
So, somebody... Now...
Powell is the guy who is connected to Israel with the missile defense.
Okay. All right. I got lost for a minute.
Not Dunn, not the guy who that's betraying Rick.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I got distracted for a minute because the cat was
He's like
up there on my
Powell's
shoulder.
like the boss. He's the one. He's the business guy who is connected to the missile and the money and the business end of it.
Okay.
Okay.
got a call. Someone called him saying, "I'm here, sweetie. It's your lucky number." Just to distract him, when he remembers seeing this blimp with an eye on it. It's called the Zero Gravity Flying Eye, and it has a camera on it. So Rick checks the footage and realizes that the woman wasn't lying about Dunn. He sees Dunn with the shooter on camera before it happens. Then, Dunn shows up behind Rick, and this is when they announce that Kirkland has died. And this part's really weird to me, because here we see on TV that Powell is clearly using the secretary's death to push political propaganda, saying that Kirkland would have approved of the air defense system, which is another shocking reference layered into the story. Now we figure out why Dunn invited Rick. he needed a local cop as an alibi, and 2, he knew that Rick was controllable and could be bought if anything went wrong. This is where Dunn tries to bribe him, saying he'll give him $1 million to look the other way. All he wants to know is where Julia is. But Rick won't tell him. He even gets beat up later by Tyler, but still refuses to give her up because he knows they'll kill her. Dunn also tries to gaslight Rick here and play victim, bringing up this Renville event that supposedly got hit by Iraqi missiles, claiming the air guard system could have saved lives. But the whole thing feels like BS because 1, it doesn't work, and 2, Dunn already proved he's willing to lie and kill, so he must know this is about money. Why would we believe a word he says? This is also kind of where they reveal the meaning behind the name of the film, Snake Eyes. The house always wins. Craps are rigged, and Snake Eyes favors the host, or in this case, the government and the corruption inside of it. But the symbolism is twofold, because when Rick wakes up, the hurricane is worse, the Powell Millennium Sphere is shattered, and Rick heads back to save Julia, but Dunn follows him. And this is where the cops show up and there's news cameras outside filming live, and Dunn gets told to put his gun down because he looks extremely suspicious, but he realizes that it's all over. But the weird part is he decides to kill himself to hide the secret. Which is weird because the movie ends with Rick becoming this hero, and then the media smears him for being corrupt and he gets indicted. So the movie kind of ends in a, well, the secret still gets buried. And we even see a reference to Powell Millennium at the end of the movie again, implying it's not over. And it ends with, well, at least he got to be on TV. And that's the end of the movie. Okay, so a politician, a defense secretary named Charles Kirkland, gets shot in the neck and is assassinated during a live boxing fight on September 10th. This happened because a boxer named Lincoln Tyler took the fall on purpose by taking directions from an agent from some type of intelligence agency. Tyler is the suspect in Kirk's real-life case. Lincoln obviously is a president who was assassinated. Not only that, but Tyler later beats up Rick in an attempt to protect these elites. In Freemasonry, a Tyler is someone who guards the door of the lodge with a drawn sword, ensuring that only initiated brethren enter. So Tyler is a Masonic guard or executioner, and in the movie, he's literally called the Atlantic City Executioner. This happens right when Rick finds out the truth. Not only that, but Gilbert Powell is Trump. Trump was supposedly a close friend to Charlie, and the film was literally shot on location at Trump's Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. So that's another tie-in. And the strangest part of all is that in the film, there is a cover-up psyop with the media involved to promote this idea of a terrorist patsy in order to promote a political agenda involving you-know-who. So yeah, I'll let you guys decide what that's all supposed to mean. Keep in mind, they mentioned the Kennedy assassination, conspiracy theories. This is Hollywood promoting this idea that the media lies, plants false evidence, uses fake assassins to carry out a political purpose, cover-ups at the highest level of government, and we're just supposed to think this is all coincidence? I mean, at some point you have to admit there's something weird going on. So again, we have timing. This is from 1998. Why are we seeing this in a film with a Trump-coded casino owner and a live assassination on September 10th? We have the Patsy media rollout pre-9/11, a Palestinian Patsy, handwritten notes that were planted to show it was a suicide mission, and a ready-made media cover story that's a weird precursor to post-9/11 script that would dominate the news 3 years later. Then there's a tech cover story featuring real military speak, including Sea Sparrow, Norfolk, so they're basing this on real stuff. And then there's the ritual and symbolism. The whole event took place in a hall. Tyler is the executioner. And then there's the whole Jezebel Whore of Babylon reference. Oh, and I did want to mention that De Palma has a whole history of weaving conspiracies and cover-ups into his films. Like, that's kind of his thing. Blowout is literally about a political assassination and the media cover story around it. A sound guy hears evidence on tape and then watches it get buried, which is basically the same as Snake Eyes. Then you've got Body Double, all about hidden cameras, surveillance, and how you can't trust what you're seeing. Same theme. Then there's The Black Dahlia, which is its own dark, deep rabbit hole. Anyways, what are your thoughts? Let me know what movie breakdown you want to see next.
That is one I would like to look at and decipher that show, that movie, The Black Dahlia. All right. Hi there,
Chad. Howdy, howdy.
Sherry, are you feeling up to hopping on with us?
Can if you want, girl.
Yeah, hope everything's doing okay. So, okay.
Not to mention also he, on the cover of that movie, it said, "Never believe what you see with your eyes."
That's right. That is correct. Now, we all know what happened to Charlie.
Sorta.
I want to bring up something from a investigative point of view. Number one, when things happen like that, for the most part, they block it off. It's not allowed to be seen like that, like his was.
But they when they do these public executions, like with Kennedy, Lincoln, Reagan, or whatever, they do that on purpose.
Now, then
MLK, Martin Luther King.
Then let me bring up when something like that does happen, and they had an active shooter, because they didn't catch him until like 3 days later, so they say. And they have an active shooter. They rope off the crime scene, and nobody's allowed in there. 10 minutes after they carried Charlie away, they were cleaning it up.
Yeah, that's disruptive of a crime scene. I mean, come on. When has that ever happened in real life?
It doesn't.
No.
It does not. And they had it within 2 days. They had laid concrete on the grass. They had repainted everything.
That's crazy.
Everything was done. Now, they don't do that. That does not ever happen, because they had that stuff cleaned up before they even caught the active shooter. And when you have an active shooter running around, they sound the alarm. Everybody stay in place. Don't open your door. This person might be, it might be problems. They don't just treat it like, oh, well. They don't do that. So why did they? Well, so from all aspects, from the beginning to the end, the whole thing was like what's the right word I want to say?
A cover up.
Indeed. I mean, that's obvious. That's blatantly obvious. So people ask, why? Well, you don't want to know my answer on that, but okay. So now, you okay, Chad?
Can't hear you. No voice.
Oh, you got something going on.
There you are.
Okay. Is your headset on?
It's messing up.
Okay, let's see if you can hear me now.
There you go. We can hear you now.
So that's what that switch is for. I get it now. You can hear me, right?
Now we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you.
You okay?
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Okay, Sherry. I'm sorry.
Chad, you have anything to say on all that? Anything? Any comments?
Oh, man, I just got a
Well, I
raging.
mean, there's a lot to unpack just from the whole just from the whole idea of it. I mean, there was before, remember, I was like, there's either two scenarios. Either they got some sort of looking glass where they can see into the future and they're making movies, but I don't think so. I think this is more along the lines of what you're saying. Like, this is fifth dimension or higher dimensional entities, or those gods writing through people, inspiring them, because and it's sort of evidence of that, along with the Mandela effect and everything else that's going on. That's kind of like their modality of communicating with us.
Now, Chad, how many have you, for example, what I was thinking when you were saying that, how many times have you heard testimony like somebody taken up on a, say, in a ship, and then the alien grays have a TV screen and show them all the events that are going to come true in the future? Like they like watch a movie screen and they already see everything that's going to come, and then the people come back and say, I was shown all this stuff. So these beings have, I think, all this information already. So
So
do
they're
some of
using
these do maybe some of these people, you think, Chad, that are abducted, like these movie writers, and then they're shown this stuff and then they come back and write this stuff up, maybe? What do you think?
or it's V2K, like it's sent down to them, and
Okay.
but
Could be both,
it's
could be a little bit of everything. Yeah.
it's a tricky question, because as I get downloaded with songs, so I can't necessarily write
Right.
myself, but when it comes through, it comes through. Whether I can or can't, there's a song. And I would like to think, okay, I sometimes I get a sense like I walked past a cemetery and I got a lullaby. I was driving through wine country and I got this song about addiction or alcoholism. But I attached to either a spirit that wanted to get a message through, or God is like sending me stuff. Um,
Right.
but I don't want to think it's like somebody out there with a machine that's just sending me V2K, because it takes me months to work these songs out. It takes my creativity. It takes my creativity as well. So, if they're working with the director the way I get worked with from whoever it is that works with me, with songwriting or whatever, um, or others with books, and ideas, because I don't know.
I think it could be a bunch of different scenarios possibly, and it's individual, and it may be different for everybody, you know?
Now,
I
on that
mean,
line, on that line, Chad, of what you just said, I want you to think about something else. Okay. Remember what we talked about the world being a stage. So let's say that the things going on with Israel has got to be shown. So before Charlie Kirk popped up, this movie was made. So somebody said, huh, let's name this guy this. Let's have him play this role. Let's have all this happen. Let's put this on display for the whole world to see so that it clicks into people's minds. Hey, wait a minute. There is something going on with Israel. There's something going on with this. There's something going on with that. That way they're seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So I personally do believe that this whole thing with Charlie, in my opinion, was staged. Now, was it staged because he needed protection? Or was it staged to prove a point? That's the real question. That is what has to be answered. Why? Why? Because coming from not only myself, but I know a lot of other people that knew. First of all, there was never an autopsy done on that man. There was not one done. If somebody said there was, they lied. Okay? Because they have audio proof of the police on a scanner talking about it, because it was all, she went there. Now, and that's another thing. They said her and the kids were there. Charlie was shot in front of his wife and kids, but yet she had to fly in to go to the hospital to get his body released. Even being close friends, why would the vice president go and pick his body up and no autopsy done? Then they took him to a disclosed location in Arizona. Okay? From an investigative point of view, none of that smells right. It all smells completely wrong. All of it. So there is something to this. It's just trying to figure out why. Now, we know it had to do with a lot of what's going on with Israel, how Charlie decided that he was going to pull out of any kind of deals, did not want the money that was being offered for I don't even know what. Who knows, really. So it's also hard to say exactly what went on. Why? Well, because guess what, people? It is a big club and none of us are in it. So it's not for us to really know. It's just for us to see.
All right, Brenda, I sent you 3 TikToks.
Got them.
All right, the one I sent you, the very last one, the one that just came in, show that one first. No, wait, hang on. Go ahead and show that one.
The very last one, the one that just came in, right?
Yes. Digging into Erica Kirk and Lori. Francese's her mother.
Oh, this one has got her on stage in a bikini.
Okay. It says unveiling Erica Kirk, right? Yeah. It's YouTube, last one, investigative. It's the very last one I sent you.
Okay, well, that's not it. That's a different one.
It could be starting off in a bikini. Yeah. No, it's unveiling Erica Kirk. Okay, did you find it?
I've got it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. What was that, Andreas, the director of the Alien franchise?
That's the one right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was reading what Andreas was comments. Saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll play this.
I have a team now working with me, just people that have seen my videos and now helping me look into things. And we've been looking into a bit of the background of Erica Kirk and her mom. And I find it interesting that...
Why is there an echo?
Maybe Chad's...
Oh, I don't know. There was an echo.
There's an echo, yeah.
I was hearing it twice.
Erica Kirk promotes this kind of like trad wife lifestyle when her mom, Loretta Ann Laurie Abbas Fransby, has a background tied to the Abbas family with Syrian, Lebanese, and Italian roots, which doesn't fully match Erica's all-American Catholic narrative. Laurie has a long Department of Defense history, including Joint Service Achievement Medal for classified operations during Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, working in network security and defense tech. Her move to Arizona from Ohio is murky, with vague details about her first husband, Kent Fransby, Erica's father, and second husband, alongside a quick pivot to high-level contracting. She started 3 companies serving defense and intelligence agencies, notably E3 Tech, which specializes in EMP protection tech for clients like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. Her current life, studded leather jackets, assault rifles at shooting ranges, and trips to Israel for tech conferences, clashes with Erica's claims of a wholesome upbringing volunteering with her sweet mother. Erica's involvement with the Romanian Angels charity, part of her nonprofit Everyday Heroes Like You, and Erica's early modeling career, which included participation in Trump-affiliated beauty pageants, which promoted a glamorous, high-profile lifestyle, are both at odds with her current traditional narrative. And we don't even know much about Erica Kirk pre-Charlie. Like, where was she or what was she doing 2013 to 2015-ish, and why did she pass off old photos to seem like a normal fashion model? What do you guys think? Comment below.
I think that's crazy.
Well, that's some heavy duty stuff right there. I mean, in the movie, it talks about Israel and contracts and missiles and, politicians and,
Right.
and so you have Erica connected to Donald Trump, prior to all this stuff, in the pageants, and then you have the mother who's working on all these contracts, and they're going back and forth to Israel, and Erica's in Israel, and Erica's meets Charlie in Israel originally before they, So I mean, all these strange connections going on.
Well, that's the way it always is. I mean, even look at what you talk about with the North stories. There's so many connections that it isn't even funny. Everything is connected in one big round circle, and it doesn't matter if it came
One
from
big matzo ball.
yeah, and it doesn't matter if it came from history from millions of years ago or today. Everything is a connect, 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 connect.
It is. It's crazy.
There's no scattered dots anywhere.
All right, there's 2 more TikToks I sent. Just one before that, one before that. You can show those 2. It's very interesting stuff. And then we'll get our take from Chad on some of this stuff after we show these 2.
Okay. I'm gonna sneeze. I just know it.
Okay.
I feel it coming.
Just make it a good one.
Nah, be my like spit all over my camera. All right, ready?
Yep.
Update, Real Baron podcast figured out whenever Tyler Robinson had become his patsy. I don't think that Tyler Robinson carried out this giant event. Unfortunately, the same people that make the adult films are the same people that ran the island, if you know what I mean. And while they blackmailed people on a large scale with that island, they have little people that watch inappropriate stuff that's on the internet, and they bust them for that. And once they're busted for that, then they have control over them. Tyler Robinson's boyfriend supposedly had said some really inappropriate stuff, and I'm sure he had some real bad search history on his computer. You can go watch this full video over on my X account. I'll link it over there. Tyler Robinson, I don't think he's guilty, but he's sitting in there and he's probably going to take the fall for it, because you can either have people think that you're guilty of one certain thing that half the country doesn't have a problem with, or be actually guilty of some really bad stuff with your internet history, and that's probably what it was, because our greatest ally started searching Lance Twiggs and Tyler Robinson around the same time. Go check this video out. It's mind-blowing, disgusting stuff. That's why you always stay away from all that nastiness on the internet. It robs a piece of your soul, and then you get busted and blackmailed at the same time. Make sure you tell me what you think about all this in the comment section. Make sure to like and follow, and if you want to support, make sure you subscribe.
So, I'm just going to say this. We all know that the government, the CIA, national security, all of that, they have where they can see into everything we're doing. Why on earth are you going to get on the internet and watch even regular porn as an adult, much less anything else? They know what you're doing, people. They know what you're doing. Stop the nonsense because they know what you're doing.
But see, those people that are, that go down that dark rabbit hole. These are the good people for the dark side to blackmail and to use
Yeah.
operations.
And you know what? If he didn't do what this guy is claiming that they did, but he agreed to go ahead and do this, let's say they said, we're going to pay you and your family so much money for you to take the fall for this, you can guarantee that that boy is not sitting in jail. And you can guarantee that, because if I'm not mistaken, didn't I hear at one particular point in time that his family moved because of what happened? So they wouldn't be harassed?
Well, I have a good friend, Brenda, that he told me the story. He went to prison and he was called into the warden's office, and the warden and they sat down with him and they said, look, we've got some crimes that have been committed by somebody, some murders and things like that, but we would like to make a deal with you. If you'll take the rap for these crimes, what we'll do is we'll reduce your time down. We'll lower these times down. We'll reduce your time down and give you a reduced time. And that these persons that you're going to take these crimes for, and this just happened to be in Utah, same place Charlie was killed. This took place, and he said that your crimes will be redu- you'll take the crime, like you'll say you were guilty of it, but you'll get to get out of prison early. Okay, you'll get a good deal. We'll make a good deal for you. He's like, hell yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. And
And he
they
did.
do sometimes. They make money is look.
And so the guilty party never gets charged, and never they walk away. It never gets connected to that person. And a fall guy takes the fall.
There's a lot of things that go on, and there's always a reason for it. Like, okay, I'm going to bring up the Challenger people. Okay, I'm going to bring this up. First of all, they put that in every school and child's face when this happened. It is impossible for 7 people to have identical lookalikes, and some of them that even go by the same name. Okay? Absolutely. And somebody says, well, why would the teacher do that? She had a husband and kids. No, they were crisis actors. Everything that you see that comes on the news, and I'm going to say it right now because the news is propaganda and they get paid to lie. They hire crisis actors. Pay close attention.
Brenda, yeah, look at the guy in Charlie's, the first guy that said, I shot him, just kill me. And he was at 9/11 and all these other events, they said. And he wasn't even, he was just crisis a distraction. Actors. Yeah.
When they had people, when Trump was in office the first time, and they were sitting there saying that there was gas cans being thrown at the people with all the kids. Crisis actors, people. Crisis actors. And every now and then, if you get lucky, you can find this in newspapers. You can find it on what is that one that people go to because it's real cheap and they try to buy things on it? Shit. I can't even remember what the hell it was. But you can find these things online where they say that they're looking for background actors.
Oh, on Craigslist?
Craigslist, all that. Yeah. You call them and they say, okay, we need you to come and pretend like you're the mom of these kids and pretend like, well, these kids were playing with those gas canisters that supposedly
Yeah, they just hire individual people to come. They'll pay them like $75 a day, $150 a day.
Yes, they hire the same people because I remember them showing a stretch of here's Maria and her 5 kids, and then a few years later, oh, here's Maria and her 2 kids.
Well,
they
like
hire
this guy,
the same people,
and like this guy was pointing out that Taylor Robinson probably had quite a bit of scummy crimes against him, so they're gonna wash the scummy crimes because say he's a pedophile going after little children, he goes to prison, they're gonna kill his ass. Okay.
True.
But if it's I mean, if it's something else, it's not as bad as the crime of the child crime, because I know child predators, they all get what I'm saying? So it's like lesser of the two evils. We'll make a trade. You're going to take this rap instead of taking that rap. So they make these deals with them, these criminals.
Brent, I heard that too, but I have not got a chance to dig into that, but I am going to.
Hey, go ahead and show that other video. Maybe that's on there.
Because I've always I've always known that there are different people being played by different people all the time. All of the time. It never ceases to amaze me. All right, let me get this pulled up. Okay. Gosh.
USA 2012, Erica Franzweg.
I don't know if you can read any of that. Can you, Brenda?
Say some of it goes by so doggone fast anyways.
Yeah. See if you can you read some of that, what it says?
I could try.
Okay.
Okay. This was for the what? The E3 Tech Group? E3 Tech Group. Okay. So
talk about her mother.
Erica Kirk's
was
mother
working with the U.S. Department of Defense.
Yeah. What it says would you stop it? Against the national. Okay. I'm done. You guys know what to look up. Look it up.
And NASA. She was working with NASA.
Congratulations, Erica Franzweg. Arizona, USA 2012.
Okay. So her mom, we know her mom was involved in that. So all of that was just one big blatant lie.
And her father worked with, was working on the Iron Dome, defense of Israel, the father. Yeah. So her mother and father were both involved with Israel's defense weaponry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you send something else?
I did. Now there's some stuff before that, so I just sent those recently, but you can pull up some of the other stuff. Yeah, you can just kind of hang on. Let me go back there. I mean, you see something you hadn't pulled up before. Go ahead and show it.
Okay.
So I do know someone personally who trades weapons, or of someone personally that trades weapons. It's the brother of somebody that I know. They live on top of a mountain of mansions, just to give you perspective. and they live in the house that's on the highest part of the mountain. The mother insisted. She went to a college, and she was not wanting to go to this college. She changed after going to it, and I've watched her be a different person ever since. A socialite, more or less, but that these people were talking about, like Erica, their money is beyond anything we know or aware of, unless you've been in their environment, because it's the elite.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that's somebody that trades. That's one of the 4 people or 8 people that's allowed to do it in the United States or something, but those are the type of families we're talking about, like with lots and lots and lots of money.
Right.
Now they were saying just since Charlie died, when they sold all these T-shirts and something, Turning Point raked in something like $90 million just in a short period of time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So do you think it's artificial intelligence or alien intelligence or angelic intelligence that they're using to? Because you were saying, like, they're always looking in on us, right?
Yeah. I would
And predicting the
say,
future.
well, Chad, one of the, we go back to the Gnostic writings and Jesus and stuff and all that. And one of the things that I recall Mary asking Jesus about in the Pistis Sophia book about, are they going to be able to accomplish all the stuff that they have planned through their black magic and their dark arts and all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to succeed at it? And he said, no, because I went in there and messed up the dials of everything, so they will not be able to accomplish that they wish to bring about, But had he not done that, they could have succeeded, is what he was saying. So I think this is the dark side working to do this. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on.
And Andres said that the director of the Alien franchise had a dream of being similar to the aliens from the movies. So he received his inspiration through dreams, which is, you know what I mean? That's downloads. That's something putting it in your
Yeah.
head.
And they could come from angels or they can come from demons. I mean, that I think that dreams or
Okay.
downloads can come from either side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think they can't all be bad, There's got to be, because you know what? Think about it, though. We know we have Jesus, we have Satan. Okay. So it just can't be the bad side trying to have people see certain things. There's got to be good where there is also evil. It is just up to us to discern which is right and which is wrong. That's the rough part. Okay. But think about it. I mean, use your common sense with it. If you get a download that says, "Oh my God, I want you to go over and go stab your neighbor," you're going to know that that's wrong.
Like,
yeah, or jump off the bridge.
Yeah.
You know that's wrong. But if somebody in your head is telling you, "Hey, this is a beautiful song. Write this song," and you write the song, and the words are fine, and there's nothing demonic about it, that had to come from a good place. But
or it could be telling you about some bad things that are coming or how to avoid them, or there could be all kinds of different messages. We don't know. It might be confusing at first, but
yeah. So I mean, and there are angels that sit on our shoulders that tell you certain things. I mean, Glenn is a good example of that. Before he got hurt at work, he heard a voice, never heard a voice before in his life. When he went on a call and he heard a voice say, "Don't get bit." And he seen the woman he was going there to help, and there was a chihuahua on the porch, and he thought, "Oh man, I could just kick that chihuahua." Before he reached the woman, he heard it again. Don't get bit. And you'd think he would have taken warning to see if there was anything else around, but he didn't. He ignored this voice, thought he was just crazy, and a big old dog came around the corner and tore his hand in half. He had a warning, don't get bit. You might want to be cautious. So, I mean, I think that there are good things out there that do speak to us.
Definitely.
My question would be what for? Like the Mandela effects, what for would be like, okay, that's why did the golden calf get presented? Okay, well, the what for is because God's given us a message, maybe, letting us know that He's here, there, that it's here, and aware, and watching. Uh, but why would the angelics or something put these little seeds inside of our movies just to let us know that they're there? And they're wiffle balling things around, and kind of controlling things a little bit from their side.
Well,
Or is there a hidden message in the movie somewhere that we got to decipher? Like, were they
All good
coding something?
points, Chad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh.
but we have had, okay, we all know the story about the pyramid and who's at the top. And who's at the top of the pyramid, I don't think they're human. Okay? And that would be our Rothschilds and our, I think that there is something up with them. So
supposedly they were put in a position to be at the top, yes.
right. So, the more that I look into a lot of different things, I find out that, first of all, humans, us, we were not the original for this planet. Okay? We were not. Wasn't us. And there are other things that live amongst us. We all know this. I know this. I pass them in the grocery store. I am around them when I'm in certain places. I know they're there. Would you just shut up? So there are things that are here on this planet that are not of us. Now, they're sneaky about it, so I would say that they're not angelic. They've got to be bad.
Well, that's where I go back to my Norse side, Brenda, and I see it as Loki has children with giants who create monsters, and then we have these monsters being kind of things all over the planet, and then he has children with humans, and then that's why we have two seeds walking around, Satan's seed and God's seed,
But I will tell you this also. A lot of the things that we are seeing right now today, they're not what people think they are. It's not what people think it is. There is a lot of secretive stuff. There is a lot of bad stuff. There are good people trying to fix the bad problems. But this stuff has been going on for 60 plus years, that anybody knows of, because the child trafficking and all that other stuff, this stuff could have been going on back in the 1800s and we wouldn't have known. Okay, we don't know. They do resets all the time. Apparently, we've missed something.
If you read like Grimm's fairy tales, I'm pretty sure this stuff was going on back then.
Yeah, I'm going to bet it was. This stuff has been going on for a very, very, very long time. And so they've spent so many years perfecting how to cover things up.
And you know how that happens, Brenda? Through
What?
Religious controls, right? And political controls. This is how we brainwash and control and keep the people in line. We have them believe and think a certain way.
The news is
not to think
one of
outside the
worst.
box. Yeah.
The news is one of the worst. And right now it's even twice as bad because you have half of the news talking shit about, Trump and their administration. Then you got the other half talking shit about Obama and them. So our news, regardless of whether they're coming around to start telling the truth, you still can't trust them. You cannot trust them. You can't trust half of the stuff that's coming on. But there is one thing I know you can trust, that come hell or high water, causing confusion, division, and mass hysteria and fear is something that they want. And guess what? Stop giving it to them. Sit down and think for yourself. Open your own fucking eyes.
Do the research.
Yes.
Get on there, Google, ask questions, pray, look for answers.
And even Google,
what
you
did
can't
Jesus
trust
say?
it. They program that
If you
shit.
seek, you will find. That right there. You got to look for the answers, and it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It could take you 30 years to get an answer to a question, but if you don't give up, you'll get it.
Now Google has been programmed to answer certain questions, so you have to be very
Google is
skeptical.
only as smart as the information that it's been given.
Programmed, yes. So if you ask something one way and you get the old common
you say it
knowledge,
wrong,
but if you ask it in a certain way, it will tell you the truth.
And because certain questions that are asked are automatically by the computer meant to not answer you, so you have to ask them in certain ways, different ways.
I suggest you start looking through old books, old encyclopedias, old
documents,
newspaper. Go to a library, look for old newspaper.
Yeah, all the Nag Hammadi stuff. Read all the old documents, all the stuff. That'll help.
Yeah.
May confuse you for a while, but it'll help.
Because it doesn't do any good, really, when you sit and think about it, for people to sit up here and try to tell you the truth, because you're going to have those naysayers. No. I mean, even Suzy and I go through that. I can tell Suzy something that I absolutely know positively because I know who told me it and I trust that person. And she'll say, "No, I don't think so. I can't see that," or so I mean, it happens all the time. So the best thing for you to do is to just go study it yourself. Listen. Now, always listen. And listen to wording like our government, Trump himself, other people. Listen sometimes to the words that they use and how they use them. I know for a long time people were going around making fun of Trump because he would misspell something when he would put out a tweet. He did that on purpose. Trump is not a stupid man. He is very, very intelligent. And when he does things like that, it is to get the attention of certain people. And only those certain people will know what that means. If you're not privy to it, don't make fun of it. Or, well, go ahead, get a good laugh if you want. But if you're not privy to that certain information that he is trying to communicate, you won't get it. Don't try, because you're never going to get it. I am telling you, there is intelligence beyond anybody's belief half the time. So
now I did send you about 4 more or 5 TikToks. Some really interesting ones.
Glenn's falling apart right now. Something with the radio station just messaged me. Stop the show. Okay, so wait.
Oh, and Brenda, you're right about the crisis actors as well, because I also used to know people that were Masonic, and pretty high up in the Masonic too. And they one of their jobs was crisis acting. They would go and for certain reasons, to get people practice or whatever it is, but they're also used for nefarious things. They're used for legit things and nefarious things. So it's absolutely true. And then, you'd see those pictures of kids even at multiple events, and you would see the parents, or not the parents, but
The
Who
people
knows
that
what
played
they
their
were? The
parents. Yes.
handlers, what it was, because their hands are on the shoulder and they're either tucking this over here or reaching over and pulling the ear or do it. And it's all code to the child as reminders of what they're supposed to say,
Absolutely.
because it's been rehearsed, and even like down to this performance. It wasn't even a performance. Okay, but you're saying, it's a possibility that it was a uh you know uh relocation, a process of relocating somebody,
Yes.
because right down to it, everything was rehearsed. I mean, I don't know that they actually rehearsed it, but every move was choreographed.
You know,
The handing
you
offs, the taking off the
yeah.
thing, the
Do
cementing
you
it right
know?
over, the moving
Yep.
forward with the press. I mean,
Yep.
this whole thing has been
Right?
orchestrated.
Very much.
And
Why? I
in my
don't know.
opinion, what I figured out the Challenger was all about
Yeah.
was people were asking, how is it that so many years ago, umpteen million years ago, we went supposedly to the moon, but we haven't been back there yet. So why not do the Challenger and go, oh my God, we lost all those people. We don't ever want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
That is basically them telling you, well, we lied and we don't want to tell you we lied. So we're just going to fake that all these people died over here just so you don't ever ask us to go back again. Now, I'm going to tell you that may piss a few people off, but do not ever, ever underestimate what our government is capable of or what they do. Don't ever underestimate that, because
The
they've been
rodeo
at this
show
a
that they
long
put on.
time.
Yeah.
That's right. They put on one hell of a rodeo show often. So don't ever underestimate them. They're sneaky little turds. And they've had a long time to perfect the lies and the manipulation that they do. They've had a very long time to perfect it. So some of them are even born into it. Their parents did it. So they're taught to do it, and their children will be taught to do it. And that's just the way the ball rolls. So,
Like Erica.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is what it is.
Yep.
Like Erica, but was born into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It would appear.
Putin, people can hear you snoring on here.
I totally can.
Buddy, people can think mommy's over here farting and you're just sitting here snoring. Listen to you. Such a snore.
Did you find the other TikToks?
Which one do you?
I think whatever I sent you, like four. I think there was like 4 of them after that last one. So just go through them.
God, woman, you send me so many.
I know.
Okay, all right, hang on. Here's one. Here, we'll do this one first because I've got it pulled up. Oh, hey, there you go. I have it pulled up already.
All righty.
And this is a familiar sight, everybody. Hang on.
Hug would have been the only appropriate thing in this situation. And nobody's talking about this yet because we've just been talking about this. The hand at the back of the hair, because it's so obvious and so like jarring of like, whoa, you don't do that to like somebody else's husband. Like it's uncomfortable. You don't do that to anyone but your lover, like your partner, your lover. That's fine. No. But here's the other thing. Why is the hand placement on like the waist? If one of my platonic guy friends ever gave me a hug and like did not just like touch like my shoulders or my upper back when they said hi, and they like put their hands around my like low waist, my hips, my low back, I would be like, excuse me, who do you think you are? You're not my lover. Like that's a lover's hand placement. I'm not saying the lovers. I'm just saying it's like you do a little side hug. You do a little awkward side hug. We're like, hi. You don't do this. This is a lot. This is even more. I can't get over it. Like, who does that? Why? I'm literally speechless. A side hug would have been the only appropriate thing in this situation. And nobody's talking about this yet because we've just been talking about this. The hand.
So So now, what they said about that, because that was all over the media, that was all over the place, is that her and JD are like brother and sister, like they've known each other forever. Oh, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But what gets me that isn't being brought up is that there's been a thing going around that JD Vance has been, because his wife, JD Vance, a Christian, but his wife, however, is not. I guess she's, I don't know if she's a
From India. Yeah, she's from
yeah.
India. Yeah.
So she's of a different faith, and he wants her to transfer over to Christian. So what's been going around is maybe JD is going to, leave his wife for Erica because Erica's a Christian. I think that's a big reach, okay? But then again, what Andreas had said earlier about Vance, that he's actually somebody else, and that Erica is actually that person's wife. So, it's
so many conjectures out there, and so many. Yeah. Well, hey, I guess we'll find
we
out.
won't. I was gonna
It's
say
like
we
a
won't
movie. It'll
know.
play itself out here.
Right. We won't know until we know.
Till the rodeo's over.
Yeah. That's about it.
What, Chad? We can't hear you.
I can't hear you, Chad. Did you turn yourself off again?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so you were
I'm
saying?
sorry. Can I remember? No, it's just that there's clearly something going on, and we can't say what exactly. And this is where it gets sensitive because the people watching our show are well aware of how like the others are following the mainstream narrative, whether it be left or right, and we're kind of doing something different. So we have to ask ourselves, like, why is Trump not caring about the investigation of his friend? Why is nobody looking into this? Why is, I don't know. Well, he's either a cold-blooded murderer or
he knows.
there's
My thought would
there's an
be
act
he
going
knows what's
on.
going on,
Yeah.
and he is neutral at this point, but he probably knows a lot more. But for whatever reasons, he has to strategically walk through all the bullshit on this planet. Okay, and I don't know.
Exactly.
We can't be sure. But he may, like I said, I'm sure. Well, one of the things that was a trigger for me is right after the shooting, he ends up going over there to see the King of England, which has never happened in 200 years. No president has ever gone to Windsor. Okay. And he goes to see the prince, and of course, it is England and the Belfour, the Rothschilds, and the king who own Israel. Okay. So this is all about Israel. So he goes to see those people, the people that we're talking about. They are the Zionist Israel, okay, which is the king. Well, he goes there the very next day, or which is obvious to me what's going on. But the thing that made me, I see Melania wearing this hat that she doesn't want to look at anybody. She's wearing this brim. She's walking around, and she's like, she won't look in their eyes. Like, she doesn't want to see any of them. And she's going through this whole thing, and I have to laugh at that, okay? Because that's just funny, that she has to do that. I mean, like, she chooses to do that because it's obvious what she's doing, to me anyway. And I'm sure it could be obvious to other people.
The only one she didn't do that with, and the one that she did talk to and smile with, was Kate.
Mm-hmm. She liked Kate.
Yes.
They liked Kate and Harry. Trump said very nice things. Him and Melania were very comfortable around Kate and Harry. That's what they said. But
absolutely,
it was all business, is what he was saying with the king. It was all business. They, check this out, check that out, looked at this. It's all, it was like a show and tell show. You're like, look at our palace, look at what we own. Okay, this is great. Y'all got all this. And it was that kind of a visit. Oh, we're going to have this great dinner. Okay, y'all can really put out a good dinner, you know, no doubt, okay, that they can wine and dine you, okay? Now, when the speech was going on, when Trump stood up to, you know, they each stood up and said their thing to each other, you know, complimenting each other. So Trump's throwing all these compliments out, you know. Yes, the Prince Charles, he can memorize people's names. I'm really impressed with that. His memory, his mind is really sharp, you know, and he's saying all these compliments about the king. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he says, you know, yeah, I am the first president to ever come here. And I hope I'm the last and I never have to come back here again.
And tell me why in front of Kamala
the whole
or
world,
whatever the hell
whole
her
world.
no, in front of whatever her name was, why Trump and Melania both made it a point to look at Harry and Kate and tell Kate, Harry's mom, Princess Diana, would have loved you. They made it a point to say that right in front of Charles's wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I
they
mean,
don't like the woman. Nobody likes the woman. I'm not even sure her husband likes the woman.
All I can say is if that doesn't send red flags to everybody, nobody's looking. Okay, because that had got to be the most awkward come together of people I've ever seen in my life.
Well, you know, in royalty, colors mean a lot. Now I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, purple is royalty. Okay. And if you noticed, Melania's hat
was purple. Yeah. It was.
So basically, she was telling the other bitch, "You're on the same level as I am. Don't mess with me. You cannot talk down to me."
But you know, you notice the whole time it was crazy. I watched the whole time that Melania had to sit next to Charles's wife. She would never look at her, and that woman kept talking and talking and talking, and Melania's just looking straight ahead or looking over this way.
Yeah.
It was like so uncomfortable for Melania. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So I wonder what did Charles and Trump have to say in the back room? What was the business talk? Why, right after the assassination and the ties with Israel, Rothschild, England, why the big bring Trump to the palace and we're gonna have a sit down after 200 years? America's never done that, and Prince Charles even said, yeah, George Washington said he would never step foot in England. You know, you're the first one, Trump.
Well, you know, Trump has to, and he's not, because Biden's been over there.
Well, not in the Windsor Palace.
He's the first one that's been there twice.
Well, people have gone to England, but he said no president has ever come to the Windsor Palace to have dinner with the king. No president in 200 years. Trump's the first.
Yeah. I mean, and you know that in a lot of this stuff that's happening, I'm pretty sure Trump has to play the game too. There's things that, you know, he's asked to do that he may not want to do, and he has to take Melania with him, and she's like, okay, guess what? We'll go, but I ain't saying shit.
But he told him right straight up, hey, he loved Harry and Kate, but he didn't ever want to come back there to have to see that king again.
Yep. He doesn't want to ever have to go there again. And you know, a lot of people said that, well, they capitulate because they let Trump walk in front of them. Nobody walks in front of them. But however, I'm going to clear that up right now. Whenever a guest, high society guest, were to come there, showing off their military or their guards is a big thing. And they allow them to go first so they can check everything out, and they walk behind. And if they're checking it out, and as they come up behind the person, if there's a guard that's standing wrong, or they'll tap them to fix themselves. So what Trump did, walking before the Queen and walking before Charles, that was not anything that was, oh God, they let him, he was being rude, he was walking in front of the Queen. And no, when they go and they look at them, that is actually an honor that they give them. Please go right ahead and go look at our army, go look at our guards, because they're very proud of how their guards work, because they're just
showing them off.
Yeah. So people just think that that's, something that Trump did, that because I remember them saying that with Elizabeth when he had gone out there and he walked in front of her. And, of course, the people on the left were like, oh my God, how rude. He just walked in front of the Queen. Well, you're a dumbass if you don't know that that's the way they do that.
This thing with Charlie Kirk, guys, it reminds me of an octopus where its tentacles are everywhere, stuck to everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what it is. Yep.
All right, give us another TikTok.
I'm going to give you another one here. Hang on a minute. Let me pull this. Did I already pull it up? No, I must have put it down.
Suzy, why are so many of the royal horses such assholes?
Hey. You know what? It's because they're taught not to.
I tell you what. You know what?
Taught.
There are a lot of horses that. Hey, since you said that, Rebecca, I got a text today. Well, I go to the sortings, and I have a friend who they have some really high dollar elite horses that go to sortings. First thing she makes a statement about a horse is, I know my horse is an asshole. I kid you not. She said, I know my horse is an asshole, but she goes on to say, but that horse, every time he hears flags up, my horse is ready to go in there and get those cows. And basically the horse could be an asshole, but he's the best at his job. She loves her horse. She wouldn't trade him for hundreds of other horses. So sometimes the assholes are the best horses,
Now, and that being said, Rebecca, you've obviously never met Suzy's horse. Her horse can have an attitude Chris. Also. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I could be in there. She could be bucking across the pen while I'm winning, I mean, I'm like, come on now.
Yeah, they're like dogs. They're like any animal, really. They all have their own individual personalities. And some shine better than most. That's what I can say. All right, let's see. We'll go ahead and watch this one. Did we already see this one? No. Oh, well, Brenda, people got to be able to hear the dog. Oh,
prophesying his own death.
Charlie wrote to me, you're going to be the Iron Lady of America. He had such a political vision for me. I never wanted that sort of a thing. I see it so freaking clearly. I might be Moses, though. I might not see this whole thing through. LMAO. If that is the case, be my David. I said, dude, you haven't even realized your power yet. You're so young, is what I was thinking. He said, if I tell you the true prophecy that I know in my gut, it's really sad, but I hope it's wrong. Went on to say, anyway, I am not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you were the piece that God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's depressing combo for another time, LMAO. I said, that's weird, more of a fear manifestation than an actualization. He said, I'm not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true.
Check out these text messages.
Okay.
So that is amazing. So, Charlie is telling her that he dreams all the time that he's going to die. He's never going to make it through. It's a prophecy. You know, he knows it. Like he knows what he knows. You know.
Uh-huh.
and so, you know, it's like saying, you know, like all the messages we get and all the, you know, like the songs like Chad says he gets and all these things, we're given this information, you know, just like me calling my horse yesterday Sally, and I'm like, okay, Sally, quit that. I kept saying, quit that, Sally. And then here I am at the grocery store. I meet this 80-year-old woman named Sally, and I'm trying to explain to her some truths. And I'm almost thinking to myself, come on, Sally, quit thinking like that. Let's wait, open up your mind and think, Sally. You know?
And your horse's name isn't even Sally.
My horse's name is Smooth. Yeah, Smoothie, Miss Smoothie. So I'm calling her and I'm like, why am I calling you Sally? And then I run into a lady named Sally today. So that was not by chance or circumstance that I was saying Sally yesterday, and then today I met Sally. That's the whole point. You know, we get this information, so where do we get it from? Okay, and it comes from our help. You know, whether we get help from good guys or bad guys, and I tend to believe that I get my help. You know, sometimes the bad guys do, you know,
And
spill the beans and, you know, but I do rely on the good help. Okay, just saying.
And I also want to say that there is no reason for anybody else to be doing their job to investigate anything, because Candace is going to do it all.
Yes, I was just going to say, yay, Candace, here we go.
She's like, forget everybody else. I'm just going to take care of this. I'm a little worried
even
about her.
Charlie said that she's going to be the one to, you know, he knew she was going to be the one to help him.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Turning Point made something like $90 million in the couple of weeks following Charlie's death. I think I first heard it was 70 million. It's gone up since then. They were selling like t-shirts at the memorial event, like Freedom Charlie t-shirts. They were selling products. And he is, I guess, trying to imply that me speaking about his death and running ads is problematic. Now, first and foremost, on our tribute episode, we ran absolutely zero ads. We didn't even let YouTube run ads on that episode. Turning Point made something like $90 million in the couple of weeks.
Well, she didn't do that for very long.
You know, 90
Why were they
million.
selling shirts at a memorial?
Yeah, well, they didn't do that while Charlie was alive. Because they have a new boss now, remember that, okay? A new CEO of the company, right?
Yeah, it's a little, all right, let's see. Oh, okay. I know this one here.
Okay.
Okay, let me get him pulled up. Mr. Peters. Oh, come on, get on there. Let's see. Do I have it on? Yes.
This tweet from Candace Owens over the weekend, quote, "Don't worry about the gag order in the Charlie Kirk case. I plan to violate it on the world's behalf. The things that I've discovered this past week are enough to burn the house down. Yes, Charlie was betrayed by everyone." End quote. And I hope that she does. Unlike a lot of people that want to throw shade at Candace Owens, I believe her. I disagree with her on some things. I don't like the way that she ghosted me on Occupied. She's willing to be in my DMs. She doesn't want to come publicly and associate or affiliate with me because I guess I'm just too toxic. I mean, after all, CNN just did identify me last week as the world's #1 anti-Semite on all of the internet. The Rolling Stone calls me America.
Okay. Stu Peters is making this about him.
Well, keep going. This is good. This is good. Yeah, that's true.
As conspiracy kingpin, these are crowns that I will wear with pride and with honor. These arrows I will take. I will stand on that island. But the pool's not too full, Candace. Come on. Jump in. Let's see it. And I hope that she does tear the whole house down. I hope that this entire house of cards falls. I hope that the entire empire of lies catches on fire. I hope that all of these pedophiles are completely exposed, bare naked in front of the entire world. And I hope that Candace brings receipts for what we already know to be true, which was that Israel killed him, and the people that were closest to him, up to and including his wife, were all in on it. Or they stayed silent, or they know now and they're not saying anything because they have their eyes fixated on hundreds of millions of dollars that comes from the Israel lobby that Charlie Kirk said that he was walking away from. He said he was going to be forced to walk away from to exit the pro-Israel cause. He said that. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's not something that I'm just dreaming up. It's not wild and crazy. He said that. He said, I'm going to be forced to leave the pro-Israel cause. He was rejecting hundreds of millions of dollars that we know about from the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, $150 million. That more than doubles the TPUSA current annual budget. It's a $500 million company. It operates on $140 million every year. And he shut down, turned down, rejected $150 million. How many more millions of dollars do you think Charlie Kirk was rejecting? How many more trips? How many more business associations do you think he was pulling away from? How many more billionaire Jewish donors who have Noahidism at the top of their mind to enforce here in the United States, that they have the Talmudic agenda from hell, from Satan himself? How many of those people was Charlie Kirk recognizing for who they were and walking away from them, running away from them? And if you follow somebody that says that Tyler Robinson, a furry-loving sexual deviant on behalf of the radical left, killed Charlie Kirk, run away from them.
Brenda.
Did you see this?
I hear you laughing, girl.
Well then, Stu. Wow.
Furry loving. Yeah, you know, you talk about those furry critters running around. Yeah.
Oh my God. Jeez.
That made you laugh, huh?
I just can't believe that fell out of his mouth. But, well, then again, no, I've watched some of Stu Peters' stuff, and yeah, I guess I can. I can't believe it. I can't believe
All right,
that
let's
falls out of
continue.
his mouth. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Goodness me, oh my. Well then.
You got the rest of it, or that wasn't it, was it?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay. It ended with the furry thing. Okay, that's funny.
Okay, this says new Charlie Kirk slide just dropped.
It'd be crazy if there was another contradiction in the Charlie Kirk assassination story. No, not really at this point. They're just sloppy at this point. Jesus, y'all used to be good at covering this shit up. Or maybe we just didn't have social media. I don't know. That's why they want to take it. Digital IDs coming in hot. So Erica Kirk went on fucking the new Tucker called this guy, the Fox News guy's show. Listen to what she said.
How did you find out Charlie had been...
Dang it. Hang on.
Oh.
Hang on.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
That may be pretty good, but I just got an email and we're going to get a copyright strike because of the music. So we cannot show that one because you can only the one that we were just watching.
Stu's or this one?
No, the one that we were just watching.
Oh.
Yeah, we can't watch that one because of the music.
Well, I'll tell you what it says. Basically, what it says is that okay, so Erica Kirk says that McCoy, seconds after Charlie was shot in the neck, that McCoy gets on his cell phone and calls her to tell her within seconds after he's shot. Then what's bizarre about that, which they're lying because right after that, McCoy's father says that McCoy calls the father right after the shooting. They still got blood on him, and he calls him, and So they got their stories mixed up. And then one of the executives for Turning Point says that McCoy was not on his phone texting anybody or whatever. A completely different story. So you've got everybody telling different stories, and that none of them are matching up. Like coming from different sources. So it's complete.
Yeah.
Who's
And
lying?
he's right.
What's the truth and what's the lie at this point?
I mean, he's right. They were a lot better at covering things up before. But what law was passed on 3 strikes? What? Hi, Scott. But they used to be really good at covering things up. Well, kind of. And then I guess when it started to fall out, because see, I'm going to tell you guys, the word conspiracy theory is an oxymoron. It was made up by the CIA when people started to question JFK's assassination. Okay? That's why that was thrown in there. People would say, oh, there were supposed to be 6 people in the car, but there's 4 people in the car. There was only one shooter, but yet when they look where Oswald was when the shots were fired, he couldn't have reached him. Then he was shot 3 times. There was 3 shots. So they started saying, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. So that's an oxymoron. So, and it was made up to cover up a lie, because guess what? I think back then their lies started slipping. So interesting.
I'm curious about Candace, because in my family, it's caused division. Well, I don't need to explain why I'm living in a new residence from a woke part of my family, because I'm middle ground. So if you don't agree with the left, then it's an issue. You either agree or it's an issue. You can't just you can't have your own opinion and discuss it, right? It's going to be an argument. Well, with the right, it's always been smooth selling until now, because mainstream is calling Candace crazy.
Of course.
And
so that's how you know she's right.
Right. And exactly. And they were doing this and she was calling it out, and it was and the people who were doing it, it was real clear who. But however, the people watching this, the mainstream people, even those with IQs up on upwards towards 140 and on, are still they're like, well, well, how come she doesn't release any of her receipts? And I'm like, okay, well, you got a point there, and so it's tough with Candace, because she does have a lot of valid points, but she is holding an awful lot of information without releasing
yes,
any of
well, she doesn't want to release a lot of stuff because, well, it'll get taken. So I'm going to bet she's going to release it, but she's going to release it at the right time or to the right people.
I feel that too, maybe. Okay.
So, Suzy.
All right, I just
caused
sent
division.
you.
I
just sent you some Candace stuff. Go ahead. What, Chad?
Yeah, that's
I just want to say that it's caused division in my family again on the right side, because I was told, well, I guess that's something we're not going to discuss. Not, okay, we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But because their mind is so set from their mainstream, well, I guess that's something we won't discuss then, because you're one of those people that believe in that crazy person.
Scott, I couldn't tell you. She showed up someplace in hot, tight, black leather pants. Who does this right after her husband dies? I don't know. But anyways, so we're going to play this one.
Very dear friend and his wife.
Check it. Now watch this.
Very dear friend.
She's talking about J.D. Vance, and
his
she's
wife.
all happy, and his wife, and then she makes this ugly face when she says his wife. You see that?
Did.
Okay, that was very bitchy there, Erica. I'll have to admit to that. Okay.
Yeah. Man, I mean, you couldn't hide that.
And his wife.
And then she's like, ugh, and her eyes roll in her head, kind of like, God. I was like,
Okay.
whoa.
Let me play this one. I got to get through these, guys. We can't be on all night long. Brenda's dying.
Sure you can.
No, really, I cannot. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Kirk just accidentally exposed TPUSA for lying.
How did you find out Charlie had been shot?
Was at my mom's doctor's appointment. I put my phone down and it was on silent, so I had no reason to look back at it. I moved my mom. I went back to grab my phone, and that's when Mikey started calling me. Called me within seconds.
She said that Mikey called her within seconds, which does line up with this clip of Mikey McCoy, Charlie Kirk's chief of staff, picking up his phone as soon as Charlie was shot. We talked about this a couple weeks ago and about how bizarre and weird it was, his reaction, not running, not jumping to Charlie's aid, but instead making an immediate phone call, kind of like he knew that things were about to go down. Not saying he did, but that's what it looked like. And this led to the TPUSA folks responding, saying, no, Mikey was actually not on the phone.
They're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked, he put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand.
Okay, so now we have 2 different sides of the story. Erica says that Mikey called her within seconds, but Andrew Colvett here says that Mikey was not on his phone, but rather just putting his hands up to cover his ears from the loud noise.
And others said that Erica and the kids were there. So
she was at the doctor's office, she claims. Yeah.
So
never going to get the right story, right, from any of these people.
Apparently, the next time they do this, they should get a detective to go through things with them if they want to do it right, because their lies are just so bad.
Some may see this as a small detail, a potential small lie, but what I'll say to that is people who tell small lies also tend to tell bigger lies at some point. So Mikey, we're going to want to see that call log.
Did Erica...
We're going to want to see that call log. Oh, if he's anything like me, he wouldn't have it. I take mine off all the time because it clouds my phone. Okay, and then let's see. All right. No, this one. That on. This over here. Oh, God, my head.
I don't know if I got you this one or not.
You just stop it. Don't send me another one.
I sent it twice. Huh?
Could you start sending them and they overcloud each other and I can't send the right ones out? Hang on.
You're doing a great job.
Let me see. That one, this guy, this one. This is the one I'm supposed to have up. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's so badass listening to Candace go through. She's going to go back through a little bit of her timeline. She's going to talk about how she was being handled, right? All of these famous people, when they see you and you have a gift like Candace Owens has, they need to control you and they need to own you. But when you're young and you're on the come up, you don't realize it. But once you do, when you start to look back at it, there's a lot of people out there who are being handled right now and are probably waking up and looking around them going, holy shit, I can see the writing on the walls. You're going to want to check out this clip. Check this out.
Amal writes, I hate to be morbid, but God truly saved you by removing you from DW. I'm so grateful that you're in a most port by God Almighty. And I think and almost, I don't know what that says. It was a dark time, but in hindsight, it's clearly what was happening. Amal, I think it all started with Kanye tweeting me. I think handlers were sent out to manage, to first and foremost break apart me and Charlie, and then to manage us. And I'll speak more about that this week, but I spoke to my husband about it, and I see it so clearly now what happened. And those messages between me and Charlie leading up to that week that he tweeted us. It was actually Scott Adams says, who did a video that I'll never forget when that happened. And he said that like ripped a hole through the universe, this tweet, and it was never supposed to happen. I'm going to dig that up, find it, and speak more about what my experience was, where I do genuinely believe that handlers were sent out. And I got lucky that I had this overwhelming spiritual feeling that I needed to go to the UK. And I met my husband. I think I was actually saved by finding my husband, which was not accounted for. Joshua Steves writes, Tyler Robinson appearing in court today via Zoom without having to show his face surely isn't helping any of the theories out there. It's good to have you back. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, come on. They're like, it's like 9 on a boo-boo at this point. But don't worry. I'm sure no one at Turning Point will think that's weird. They're just like, it's open, it's closed. And we're so happy that that one lone shooter who got Charlie is being caught. These people just have no shame. Nobody here has any shame. And that's a problem. Even
I'm going to tell you something else too. It said the kid had a 30-06. Being shot like that by a 30-06 would have taken Charlie's head off. Because you shoot a deer with a 30-06 and it'll take their head off. Number one. Number two, coming out of a jugular, that blood should have squirted and poured out onto his shirt right away. Right away. And it did not. So tell me what's wrong with that story. But anyways.
Ivana Milano writes, keep up the great work. Stand by your friend, reminding us that this isn't just a personal struggle, but a spiritual war. Yes, it is. In a world where money and greed are taking over people's lives, thank you for helping us to stay grounded in God's truth. Yes, it is worth losing money, as I did. It is worth losing fake friends, as I did, to stand up for the truth. And I'm just ready for war with these people. Like all of it, band together, you know? Send your best warriors, because all they ever do is lie and smear and delude and take away and deplatform, and you're not winning anymore.
And this is what I've been saying since day one. At this point, it's ride or die Team Candace. If you are against Team Candace, we see you. We're not buying the slop. We're not buying the narratives. There's no amount of DNA evidence or magical this or magical that that's going to come out and magically change our minds, right? You're going to release the CCTV footage. Are we going to see the Turning Point cameras? Are you going to show us what really happened to Charlie Kirk? Are you going to show us what really exploded on his shirt? I doubt it, right? So at this point, you guys can just take your slop and stick it up your ass. Con Inc., we ain't buying your shit. Jig's up. Game's over. Donezo. You wanted war, you got war. And we're on Team Candace. I just want to say it's so badass.
That's funny.
That's it. You're grounded from sending me any more videos.
Okay. I think there's another one in there for you.
No, you stop it. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's see. There he is. Everybody, I want to introduce you to Mr. Aleister Crowley.
Yo, it's on YouTube. Nobody is going to stop me from investigating what happened to Charlie Kirk, because it feels to me that this is a conspiracy, a federal level conspiracy.
And it's doing better numbers than any of the shows on cable news.
It's phenomenal.
Those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual. I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA.
They created a monster with her. When they fired her from the Daily Wire, they created a monster.
I've been through a lot of media attacks. This is another level. There's a thirst there that I've never seen.
They sure did.
She can't be stopped.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I also am inspired by Elon Musk. So different from me, and we probably have very little in common, and yet in this weird way, his fight for freedom, what he did for Twitter, there are no words to illustrate what that actually meant in terms of the global conversation. He is a hero.
There's no stopping Candace at
Because
this
she's
point.
hitting all the third rails that no one wants to touch.
Kitty, if you put your claws in my side again, I swear.
I think the other one I sent to you is on the airplane one, the last one.
1, 2.
I don't know.
You sent me 2 of the same ones.
Oh.
No, hang on. Don't. You did send me another one, but 2 of them were the same ones.
Okay. So I didn't know if I sent you that one once or not. That was a good one. I don't know. Is Erica dating yet? Oh, I bet she is.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh, that's a song. You're gonna get in trouble.
Yes, dang it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Stop sending me things with music in it, Suzy.
Hey, I didn't know. Next time I'll pay more attention. Hey, we stopped it before I had 2 seconds, you know.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna listen to these first.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This one has no music.
Right there's a psychological operation. And because we're reading about Sigmund Freud, they diagnose you. When they don't want you to look into something, they diagnose you. So right there, he's going, oh my, are they just doing this to create content? Are these people akin to drug addicts? They're just high on the conspiracy theory. They're gaslighting you, and then they're diagnosing you.
All right. I need to check something here. Boom. Okay.
I have not deep dived into Sigmund Freud yet, but there's a lot of interesting things to him.
Sigmund Freud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Back on it. Every time I
Trying
go
to get
to
the
do
one with the
something.
airplane? Huh?
Every time I go to do something.
I'm curious if everyone in the watching, you know, if they're starting to feel a little more like a little island that's getting smaller and smaller. You know, hopefully you feel like you found some of your family here, you know, in this sense. You know, I know blood is thicker than water, but it's just we're in those interesting times where everything is so divided right now, right down
That
to
is
this.
true.
It's like the left was obviously divided from the right, but now the right's now dividing, and she's being called crazy for this. So
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, I've been called
and
worse.
my parents said, you know, that my folks said, they were just like, well, we don't listen to that crap. And I'm like, excuse me, crap.
What?
And so I posted on my Facebook the other day when she had the #1 podcast in the world. I believe that gentleman just got done saying that she's even beating most mainstream
Yeah.
viewers.
Yeah.
Viewership.
Yep. Okay.
Then on February 14th, our plane departs back for Cairo. And this time, BTT departs Cairo. On March 29th, BTT, our yellow plane, departs Egypt again, and it comes back to Wichita, Kansas. It lands at 2:19 p.m. in Wichita, Kansas. And guess who was in Kansas that week? I mean, it's just incredible. It is incredible.
Ooh.
Charlie Kirk was speaking at the University of Kansas, okay, on April 3rd. So let me know when you get uncomfortable and you realize these are not coincidences, okay? This is a conspiracy. This plane is following Turning Point USA Faith and Charlie Kirk or Charlie Kirk, by the way. And then on February 14th.
Oh, so she was putting out the
putting out the
plane
receipt.
the plane that everybody was talking about that took off right after Charlie was shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm over here looking through it.
Is that was that the end of it? Or
yes.
No.
Yes, it was.
Okay. So yeah, she's saying it's not a coincidence. It really is connected. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, and she brings the text, she brings the evidence, she brings everything forward, you know, so she's backing up everything she's saying, you know, with evidence, which is a whole lot more than what all these other people are doing.
Right.
Like, okay, so if McCoy was really talking to whoever, let's see your phone records, dude. You know, show us the time of your call, who you were talking to. Let's look at your phone. You know? Let's see if you were on it or not on it. Haha, you know? We don't believe anything they say anymore unless they can, you know, because they're all lying, you know?
Well, it's
You
like
know,
right now they're spreading something around saying that JD Vance is gay.
Is he? But I mean, is he?
No.
Well, hey,
sure.
I'm just saying, you
For
know, I
sure.
mean, what do you think, Chad? Is he?
I would say yes if Erica Kirk's a dude.
No. I mean, that
Just
wouldn't
saying.
be why, but I mean, a lot of people are gay, so I mean,
I'm
you
the
know.
wrong one to ask. I have a hard time telling. But he is an
Okay.
actor, right? He is an actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Playing the
Central
part of
casting.
JD Vance now, right? Because Erica looks a little different. So is this an actress playing Erica? You know, I watched somebody that did an interesting dive into Britney Spears the other day, and
Oh God.
and it's interesting because like you can hear her, and they played all the interviews where they'd say like, "What's your favorite? What's your least favorite food? Steak. If I eat any kind of red meat, I have an upset stomach for like 3 days." And then the next interview in a different accent, they ask her, well, she answers in a different accent, but it's like, what's your favorite food? Oh, definitely steak and potatoes, and then they asked her in another interview, what's your favorite interview? It was chili dogs. And then in another one, it was, I mean, and it's just like, these are actors playing in
Or
these
how many
people's
clones?
parts
Yeah, we're playing the part here.
or
Uh-huh.
clones or
Yeah.
something. And that's what
We
I
don't
was
want to.
getting into the other day on the program we did. Like what's
You don't
going
want to
on
jump
here?
down it.
There's something, but
You
what
don't
is
want
it?
to. You don't want to jump down a rabbit hole of Britney Spears because that kind of goes
Yeah.
and comes out
You'll
of
never
the
get out of
air
that
and then
hole. You'll be
goes
like Alice
again.
in
And
Wonderland. Yeah.
yeah, that girl there, she's had issues all of her life. I mean, it's just
But I also think it's an actor playing her part now, like
well, a lot of times they
Probably.
you know what, I'm going to tell you. Okay, if you were a famous actor or you were a musician, you had millions of dollars, and people would say, "Oh God, we haven't seen so and so in so long,"
Well,
and you didn't really want to be in public. Would you not? Would you not hire somebody that could go out in public and be around people, and you would just be sitting at home in your house, nice cool air conditioning, not worrying about shit? I would. I would.
well, what if, she has multiple personalities or schizophrenia? She has many multiple, you know, beings living inside of her one body. So one day that one, George, he likes hot dogs. Sam, he likes steaks. Tom likes potatoes and, eggs or whatever. You know what I mean?
That
Because you
girl
don't
is
know who you're
one big.
talking to,
That
right?
girl is
Who are we
one big
yeah,
talking to?
different
entity.
accents. Yeah, different
Yeah,
accents.
she is
Yeah.
one big entity. That's all I can say.
It's a legion, It's
She's
like,
she's
a
a
legion.
mess.
We got 1,000, different personalities talking out of one person, so we never know who we're talking to. Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what Brittany reminds me of. And there's a lot of people like that,
Brittany is a mess. Brittany's a mess.
Look at Linda McGillis over here in Marietta, Texas. She's
her walk-in.
She's the sun god Ra, right? And he's a walk-in. He walked into her and Linda, and Linda talks like a man. I mean, talks like a man, and and he says, "Well, Linda died, and I walked in. I'm Ra. I'm a man. You know." So I mean, we never know anymore who we're talking to.
I was going to bring up something also. In one face of Erica Kirk when she cries for makeup runs, but however, in the really public places, and she could have very expensive makeup that doesn't
I was gonna say
run,
she
but
might have
when
that
you're wiping it,
$500 non-run mascara or some crap.
yeah, but still, I have some of that, and I use it. And when my eyes water and I go to dab them and wipe them, it'll still make it come off. But hers never moves. Her makeup is like perfect. Like, okay, so who are you this time? is there a mask? Because they have masks that are made with makeup that are perfect.
Yeah, that's a good theory.
So,
well, she always just kind of leans over and just kind of
Yeah.
taps her eye or something.
yeah, well,
And
and then
just
I
one
seen a
eye
thing.
right there.
Then I seen
I
a
don't know.
I
thing
heard one
that
podcaster
on
saying
that
that she
she's
was
got
putting
something to make her cry. Yep.
stuff to make her cry in her eyes.
Yep.
I think so too. Behind the stage, I think I saw that.
Put a little
Yeah,
onion
but
in there or something,
I mean, there can be there can be
You
so
can't
many.
trust these people anymore,
You
Chad,
can't trust
Brenda. You just
anybody. There's
can't.
just so much stuff going on. We found
Oh my God.
200 victims. Oh, Garth Brooks, what have you done? Didn't we come up with something that Garth Brooks is a serial killer, but he is somebody else?
Wayne Gacy or something, the clown killer.
I don't know if
Oh my God. Here we go back to the Nephilim clown again.
The clown killer, or something. But with Garth Brooks, I think the rumor is like there's missing boys in every town he's lived in.
Every concert he's done, right?
Every concert he's done. It's kind of with Stephen King too.
But then again, Suzy, were there ever rodeos when he was in those concerts at the same places?
Right?
There's
bodies
just found in
dun,
somebody
dun.
else's yard.
There's bodies found where?
In somebody else's yard. I just saw it. I'll let it come back to me today. I just saw it.
But these people have, look.
Well, Benjamin
we talk
Franklin's
about
obviously, but
when you have that much money, you can buy whatever ticket out of trouble you want when you pay them enough money.
Yeah. And somebody is doing a thing about Stranger Things. Was the real inside the Montauk Project? Well, no kidding, buddy. We all know that. Come up with something new, would you?
What?
About Stranger Things, because it was made after the real Montauk Project. And it was. And I said, no kidding, buddy. I just seen it. He's running a thing on it. He put it out 2 days ago. That's old news. Think again, because we already know that. We already know that. You're a little late. Should have been listening to my show when it first started.
I just fell down this rabbit hole. No, you tripped over
everybody else's.
Yeah.
Tripped over everybody else's rabbit hole. So I don't know if anybody, look, I didn't get to finish watching Abe's show last night or being on Abe's show last night. So anybody that's from Abe's show that's here, do you guys know if he thought if he was going to go live tonight? Because I don't want to run into his, because we do have, yeah, well, we do have quite a few people that watch over here that go to his show too. So
Scott would know.
I don't know if Scott wasn't in there last night when I was in there. So I don't know. After my internet went and I said, oh, that's a sign. Brenda's got to go to bed. God says, woman, I am knocking out your internet. Would you please go get some sleep?
So what do y'all think about all this Charlie Kirk stuff? I mean,
I think our government's a bunch of liars. I think
all a big cover-up.
I think they're really getting bad at faking people's deaths. I really think they're getting bad at...
What about Cash Patel saying, hey, Charlie, I'll see you in Valhalla? Like, how did that even fit into any of this, scenario? Is he saying he's going outside the ice wall or something? Hey, Charlie, we're going outside the ice wall. What is that? I mean, come on, people, really, what is it? What is that?
It was a clue.
Is it?
It's a clue.
I'm just saying, is it?
Okay, I mean, is it like...
It's a clue.
So is this like...
Are we playing... What is that? Is that the, you go to the castle and you find out who done it, and you get the clue.
With the candlestick, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is that what they're playing with the audience? It's a game.
Everything is a clue. A lot of things are clues. You just got to know the meaning
Okay.
behind those certain clues. The
So
whodunit.
they needed us to go along with the Israeli narrative to go in that
No,
direction.
no.
Clearly,
I want you to listen to two things. Okay.
that's why else
Yes,
would it have
people.
been done? Because he was going to speak out against it,
Hang
and
on.
so that's why they
Because
took him out.
people need to know about what is really going on with Israel.
Okay.
Number one. Number two. Our young people nowadays listen to mainstream media and a lot of bullshit. Okay. This stuff that happened with Charlie did an outreach of a lot of young people. And now they have switched sides and they're thinking logically. Wait a minute. Charlie was up to something. Something happened to him because of this, because of something. So it's making them think. And that is exactly what needs to happen.
Well, that's definitely what they didn't want people to think, but I'm just saying.
The bad people didn't.
It has that effect on them.
But the good people did. And it opened up a lot of young people's eyes, and now they're starting to question things, which is what they should have been doing in the beginning. But because of school indoctrination, they don't do it.
On a good day, let's just, okay, we're just on a good day. Let's just say, wouldn't it be nice if Valhalla was outside the ice wall and it was really a real continent and Charlie got to go there, get away from all these crazy MFs, okay?
Well, I will tell
That's
you
what I'm
wherever.
saying. If he did, but why did they do this? Why did they take him out? To do this. It was because he was going to lose his life.
A lot of times when they do that, it's for safety.
But the
It's
only
not that.
safety
It's not
issue he
that
would have
I know
had
that
would have
that's
been
anything. But
Israel, right?
Yeah.
It would be nice if that were the case, like the lion laying down with the lamb, because now the lion doesn't eat the lamb anymore.
Because clearly people are acting, right? We know everybody's playing parts and there's actors playing their parts, but there's also a very real war going on. Like
Yes,
between
but
the
it is
powers up
between good and
there.
evil. Yes, it is between good and evil. That is the war. We have been in war, you guys. I'm telling you right now, it's been there. It has been there.
But right now it looks like the good
It's
did
been there
something
since
evil.
2015.
That's what I feel like. Right
Yeah.
now it looks like the good did something evil is the way it's going to be perceived. There's no other
Chad,
way
how
to
you study a lot of the resets and you know a lot about the history, covering up, resetting, rebuilding, hiding all that information. And in that book of the War of the Lords, right, of Jehovah, he talks all about how all these different gods came in, like Osiris and all these, and they would destroy whole cities, all the libraries, all the books, change all the religions, and reset everything. It's all in that.
Wow.
It's recorded in that book about how many times that they did this over and over again, and they would have to take out whole cities because the whole cities knew the truth, and they couldn't have that go. The truth be carried on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're always trying to cover it up. They're always trying to keep the truth from everybody, so that they can rule over with their evil powers or whatever, these evil political agendas,
Yeah. I mean, it would be so nice to say that we could live in a world where there would always be peace and people would always be happy and things would just be great. It would be nice to say that. But unfortunately, it's kind of like how some of these people they sell their soul for fame and fortune, but there comes a consequence for it. And they don't think about what that consequence is when they're doing it. They never think ahead.
Well, they believe they're gonna win in the end. That's why.
Yeah,
They
well,
don't
that's
believe they
because
don't.
they also should believe Satan's a liar. That's what he does. That's what he does best. That is absolutely what he does best. He is the father of lies.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these people hold all the secrets and they hold all the information, so they think they're smarter than everybody else, you know?
Well, and I mean, sometimes, yeah, yes, they like they've had a long time to perfect it. That's why, and they've handed it down from generations.
Yeah.
You know, George H.W. Bush handed it down to Bush, who handed it to everybody else. So I mean, it's all family lines and family bloodlines, and who can keep the secret and who wants to do the evil deeds, and you know, I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
I heard his twins are pretty dark.
Who?
The Bushes.
Oh, yeah, you know. So was Daddy.
But like you said,
So
it gets passed down, and there's the twins. That's the last generation, from what I know of. And
Oh. Okay.
I'll
yeah.
tell you maybe afterwards. Yeah, because that was information from Penny.
Oh, right. What
Penny
time we
Bradley.
got right now? 10:37. Okay. So does anybody have any
questions?
questions? Yes.
Or
About
any
500.
thoughts?
I have yeah.
500 questions?
Yeah, I only have 500.
Chad, I've been writing them down. I only got blue.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Let's see.
Oh.
It's a
And I
conundrum.
had a terrible dream. Brenda, didn't I? Chad, I had this dream. It was about 3 nights ago. It was awful. It was like I was this place, that wherever it was the worst hell that any place could be. I don't even know where it was, but it was like I was at this place, I don't know, we broke down and some guy was helping me, and he got in this machine and he backs up and he accidentally hooks it up onto our skidster and he's dragging it, and I run over there to tell him, hey, stop, you're dragging our machine. And I'm running, and I can't run fast enough. I'm trying to stop him and I can't. I'm trying to wave and he's just old man. He's about 80. He's not looking at me, you know. And I'm like, hey, stop. And I'm just getting out of breath. I'm running and I can't stop him, but it's like all in slow motion because he's not moving that fast, but I can't seem to get there, you know. And I thought to myself, I gotta run faster because I gotta stop this guy. And then I get this little burst of energy and I'm like, hey, stop. And he stops. He sees me, and then he unhooks the machine. And then all of a sudden, we're in this yard, and I don't know, it's like some kind of, somebody's business or something. They got a fence, and there's a building, and it's just, I don't know. We're at this place, and these people show up, and these people are looking for me, right? This is some weird dreams, right? These people are looking for me, and I'm like, oh crap, and I gotta hide. So I run behind this building. I don't have time to leave or go far, to outrun them because they'll see me. And I go under this deep grass, and I pull this grass over me, and I'm hiding under this grass. And they come up to the guy and they go, "We know she's here. Where is she?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "I don't know." He knew I was hiding under the grass, but he's just playing dumb. And I'm like, they're not going to find me. And they're like, "We know she's here." And all of a sudden they come over and they reach in there and I feel them grab my foot, right? And I'm like, oh shit, they found me. I'm like, how do they find me? I'm like, how do they know I'm here? Like, is this place like where they're using telepathy because they know I'm hiding here? This is weird. I'm thinking there's no way they could have known I was there. And they feel my foot and I come out. And then this guy walks up from, I don't know who this guy was, but it was at a time, this place, I don't know if it was another dimension of time. I don't know where this place was at, but it was a bad world. Like this guy comes up and he's a kind of a big, strong, fair-skinned black person, right? And I don't know him, but I know him in the dream. Like I know him, and he's my friend. He's like my good friend. And I reach over and I go, "Hey," and I grab his hand like that, like, "Hey, it's my buddy, right?" And he says, I looked into it. I did some research into this company, and this company owns the world. He was like looking into some corruption within this one company. He said, it turns out this company owns the entire world. He says, it's a lot worse than what we thought. And these are like vampire type, pedophile type, murderers type,
Yeah.
you know. And he's like, they own the world.
I believe
And
that.
he said they will not allow any human being to be a free thinker. You cannot think for yourself. You have to fall into line, and you have to do what they tell you, when they tell you, how they tell you. And because I am a free thinker, he said, they came to kill you. They because you think for yourself, and they can't have somebody like you. And so I'm thinking,
Wow.
shit, this ain't
That's
good. You
that's
know?
why they built the insane asylums for people like us that think for ourselves
Yeah.
and ask
And
questions.
you know,
All those
and I
people are crazy.
realize, because I look around and I can see every individual. Like this one's controlled by religion over here. Their religious churches got them in line, and they follow the rules, you know. And then they got the government, and they're following their rules. They got the workers, they following their rules. But people like me, we think outside of what the control and what they telling us to like think this way or believe this way. We don't think like that. We think for ourselves. They don't want free thinkers. So he says to me, well, I made a deal with them. You know, he said I had a talk with them, and they're going to let you live. And I was like, gee, thank God you have friends in high places, right? And so I walk away from there, but I lost everything. Like in the dream, I had no home, nowhere to go. And so I start walking, and I'm like, it's like they give me my life, but I have nothing. Like I can't fit into this society of this world, because in order to have everything, you have to do what they do or conform to what they do or whatever. And I can't, and I'm not like that. I'm not going to be controlled by these people. So now I just have to be a wanderer on the earth. So then I wake up and I'm like, well, I did wake up. I went from that dream, I went from there to this restaurant. And I go into this restaurant, and there's two people in the restaurant. There's a woman and a man. And I go inside the man, like a spirit, you know. I go into the man, and the woman, they're talking, and the guy's really nice. So, but he doesn't know how to communicate with this girl very well. So I start saying witty, funny things to the girl throughout. Like I help him, and she just falls in love, and they're like, "We're getting married." And then I go to this other table, and now there's another couple sitting there, and they're really good couple, right? And there's a guy sitting there, and I go inside the girl this time, and then I help her, you know, and then they decide, and then I wake up after that, and I'm like, okay, that was weird.
No
That
wonder
was
why
a
you
different
slept so long
experience than the
today.
others. Yeah.
Huh?
That was
Yeah.
a little bit of a different dream than the others.
Yes, it was. But because the other one was, it was horrible. Like it was like, I thought that world would be like living in where you had higher ups that had all the money, that they had so much control over everybody that they pick and choose who lives or dies in their society. You know, what a scary world that would become
Yeah.
if it got to
And
that point.
and it could have been a parallel universe. It could be a possible timeline that's floating out there. You know, who knows what we were,
Yeah.
what you could have been seeing there. But one thing that I did notice is that, was consistent with us all, and that's what I was saying earlier, is that we're divergent. Um, Naturally, like that movie just says Divergent. And that's why I asked everybody earlier if they feel like an island where the ocean's either getting bigger or you're getting smaller, because as we learn more and more truth, it's just kind of like, oh, wow, who do you even talk out to anymore? We have each other, and that's great.
Yeah, in that dream, I was alone, It was like the whole world, everybody was
Wow.
part of the program but me,
Wow.
And my
And
friend, he
so,
wasn't part of it either. Huh?
and what's interesting is I think I was listening to a program earlier that says communism works for like a population of 500 or less, in a commune situation where you have walls and you're living inside, then a communistic or communism, I can't think of the word, system works. So,
Marxism, communist, yeah.
but the way they could make it work with
Karl
a larger
Marx, yeah.
population is with the AI, and the mind control and different things like that. So I don't know. We'll see what kind of world we're heading into. Because yeah, you're
Oh.
right. It would be very scary to be in that kind of world because they decide what everything.
Yeah, where you
Watch
work, what you
1984.
do, where do you go to church?
Yeah.
They tell you what to think, what to believe. It's like, let's just say you go to a certain denomination of church. That denomination tells you what, in order to belong to that organization and to have them as friends, you have to believe what they believe. You have to follow their rules, and you can't go to the other church down the road because they have a different doctrine. So you can't be friends with them over there because they're not like you and they're not like us. So this is a control for them to get these people to believe a certain way, think a certain way, and you can't think outside the box or outside of the church of their theology, you know, and the other
And
church does the same thing. So you
and
have,
we would be the defectors. We'd be the ones that would be running. So yeah, the divergence. That's why you're having that dream.
yeah,
It's either a parallel universe or a possible reality, and you're seeing a realistic scenario. That's pretty scary.
yeah, it was really scary. And I'm
If they
trying
were
to
using
hide it. They could still see
telepathy,
me.
yeah, use snow in your head, I heard. Use snow, or think of a television screen that's all fuzzy with snow or something, so they can't read your thoughts.
Right? You do what now? You said, what about the snow?
Imagine snow covering everything, or just like the snow on the screen of a television screen so they can't read your thoughts. I think that's
Okay.
one way to neutralize it. Easier said than done, but you can do it. You can sit there and just think of snow, or if you're hiding in that haystack and you find yourself in that situation.
Yeah, hiding in the grass, and they still knew I was in there.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I hope not, man. I've had weird dreams too, so yeah, let's hope we don't go there.
Yeah, that was a very bizarre dream. I thought, damn, that's about the most depressing dream ever, man. I'm like, seriously, to think that the whole world is being mind controlled, you know, and I'm the oddball running around out here like a wanderer because I'm not thinking like them. I can think for myself. I don't have to be told what to believe or what to think. I can make those choices. And they were like, "Yep, we can't have free thinkers around here." Oh, but we'll let you slide this time. Okay. Jeez.
Well, I
Crazy
don't know if
world.
it was let you slide, because what I saw was you going to be a sex worker or some kind of slave. And I'm like, are you sure you wanted to live, Susie? Like, I don't know.
I know, right? Because I thought to myself, I ended up, like I said in the dream, of once I walked away from there, then I started going in and helping people,
Hmm.
you know,
That was a
creative
different
and think.
experience. That
Yeah,
was almost like what your soul was doing maybe in a real way
yeah.
while you were sleeping.
I'm
I
like,
was
sometimes
just
I'm like,
listening
God,
to
I don't
Matt.
want to dream. I just want to sleep. Give me some just time
Oh,
off,
wow.
you know?
I was just listening to Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, wow.
Talking about gun control.
Talking about what?
Gun control. Okay, this is somebody that's from Texas. Get your actor butt to California. That's where you belong. You don't
Does he
belong
think
here.
we should have gun control or something? He doesn't.
He said, because he brought up the Uvalde shooting, and because that's where he was from, and that's where he learned first how to handle a BB gun, and then he graduated to a shotgun, but he said this is also where I learned how to respect those weapons and safety, and yes, that is what you do.
Well, if you got rid of the guns from the public, you'd have to make all the police and military get rid of every gun and weapon to be equal, because it has to be a fair.
No, that don't make it equal, because
the thing
of it is the thing of it is
every man for himself.
Nope, almighty pin, the almighty pin of the government, and that's what they want. That's why they want our guns. So they can bully people like they do in Australia, like they do in other countries where people are not allowed to have weapons. But see, obviously that doesn't work, because here's the deal. If you don't have a gun, you're going to get a knife. If you don't have a knife, you're going to get a baseball bat. Either way, people are bad. People are bad. People do bad things.
But what I mean, Brenda, is like his theology of thinking is so bad, is what I mean. Is if everybody in God's eyes is equal, male, female, says that God doesn't, there's no difference between male or female. All are equal in the eyes of God, right? Okay.
Right.
So that means everybody, whether you're a citizen or a policeman, no one should carry guns. If one can't carry, the other can't carry. That's my point.
The whole world should also get rid of bombs, IEDs, nuclear weapons.
But he doesn't mean that. See what I mean? What he means is let the poor little guys not have any protection and give the militant and the bad guys all the weapons.
Yeah.
That's my point. He's not saying get rid of all guns. He's just saying take it away from the people who are trying to defend themselves. That's what he's saying.
And that's another thing. If they were to try to pull our weapons, that does not stop bad people from getting them and using them on people that can't defend themselves.
Well, of course not, because people who do illegal things carry illegal guns. But
of course.
But that's what I'm saying. That kind of thinking is kind of stinking.
That kind of thinking is about as sissified as they come. He needs to just take his little tight wrinkled jeans on his non-butt.
Like he hasn't thought this thing through.
California.
Well, look, I mean, I'm just saying they should know better. I mean, his dad was in the CIA, Charles Harrelson, okay? Yep. Government, military people, okay? They all had weapons, okay? Yep. So he'd have to apply that to all of them too.
I mean, I don't even want to hear it, because like I said, guns don't kill people. People with bad intentions kill people. I've had a gun sitting on my desk for I don't even know how long. It sits here, and it ain't never got up and hurt nobody. But you bet if somebody comes through that front door with ill intentions, it's going to hurt somebody.
But see, Brenda, that, like I said, that whole thinking doesn't even, it's not practical or doesn't even make sense. Because if you look at what happened in Germany with Hitler, they took away all the guns, and then the Nazis came in there and killed everybody because nobody had guns to defend themselves. The only reason that America doesn't get invaded is because everybody has a gun. That's the truth.
And we're the largest land army in the world because of that, right?
They know everybody's got a weapon in their house. Everybody here. We're not we're not helpless.
350 million people.
The thing of it is if you're a family and you're an adult and you have children and you don't like guns and you don't want to be around them, hey, that's fine. Okay? Because the first person you call when somebody breaks into your house to protect your children is you call the police, right? Because they have guns. Now, they may get there in time, they may not. But if you are a gun owner and you have children, one of the first things you do is you install into that child This is not a toy. You got to teach them responsibility and safety. You don't just put a gun in a kid's hand and take them out and let them shoot it. No, they have to know about that. They have to know the safety behind it. They need to know what it's really used for. They have to learn to respect that. Okay? People who buy them and they don't do that with their children, those are the ones whose kids go and steal their parents' weapons and go and do stupid shit. Okay? That's Do you know when my daughter was younger, I could come home from work and take my utility belt off, my ex-husband and I, and we would hang them on the coat rack right next to the front door when we walked in the house, and we'd go to bed. My daughter and her friends come in and out of that house, and I never worried about one of them touching them. Why? Well, number one, we lived in Arizona, and everybody had them. And number two, I tried with my daughter to teach her about them. They scared her to death, so she didn't want nothing to do with them. So I never worried about it. And her friends were good kids whose parents taught them good things. And if you hide them from your children and you lock them up with a key, there's two things that are going to happen. Number one, they're still going to be able to get to them. They're going to find those keys and get in there and get them. And number two, if somebody breaks into your house, what are you going to tell that robber or somebody with a gun while you got your kids in there? Wait a minute, I got to find my keys. I got to unlock my lock. Hang on. Don't shoot anybody. Hang on. Let me get my key, Really? Really?
Yeah.
Dumbest thing I ever did hear of. Now, if I had people visiting my house that I didn't know that well and they had children, yes. My guns went in my room and my door went shut. Okay.
No, you're right, because I had neighbor friends that, snuck into the house, into the bedroom upstairs of their home and shot themselves in the head by mistake, just pretending. So, and then that caused somebody to feel bad about it and commit suicide later on. So it caused a chain event, but they should have been taught. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
That's tragic.
We were a neighbor, so my mom was first responder because they ran over to our house. But the thing is you're right. You teach the kids about the guns because otherwise they could have had the guns right out there in front of them.
But
And
guys,
that's sense, and they would have never touched them. Hiding doesn't work.
Right.
I think about guns and the people who use guns to create deaths and stuff like that. But every day, I can't even keep up with how many people are killed by an automobile or a truck and it's like automobiles are more dangerous than a gun in this world as far as deaths go. I mean,
look at how many men abuse their wives and beat them to death. Bad people exist. The items that are put out to help people stay safe, they're not the ones doing it.
It's like a car is important to get down the road, but you get in a head-on collision with a semi-truck, you're gone. I mean, and it happens all the time, but it doesn't mean you take away all cars and trucks from people because they're deadly weapons. They are. I mean, they're wrecking every day in every town. Every people are dying everywhere all the time in a car
or
accident.
cell phones, because of texting.
Yeah. I mean, it just
airplanes are killing
ridiculous.
people. How many people have been in the last couple of years? How many people we've been hearing about airplanes burning up and people dying in airplanes? But they still use them.
They say that's supposed to be the safest transportation, but I'm sorry. When an airplane goes down,
tell that to all the dead people.
If there is 57 people on that plane, they are all dying.
Yeah, tell that to all the people that died.
So it may not happen as often, but when it happens, it's bigger than a car accident.
Probably more people die from an automobile than a gun, anyway.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Or even knives.
Another metal object, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, It's ridiculous. The fact of the matter is that people need help. There are a lot of, I'm just going to say it, I'm going to call a spade a spade. There are a lot of mentally ill people around the world. Okay, there are. And they need to get help.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have anything to do whether they use a knife or a baseball bat or, you know, they choke somebody to death or something like that. People are bad, and bad people do bad things. I mean, that's just what they do. Look at all of our serial killers. I mean, okay, let's take Jeffrey Dahmer, for example. Jeffrey Dahmer was a quiet, probably a good person. His problem with doing what he was doing was because he felt abandonment and didn't want these people to leave him. So he killed them, kept them, ate them, stacked their bones
Well,
up.
him and his dad were doing autopsies on, cadaver dead animals all the time, dissecting them in the garage. And his
Yeah.
dad, they say his dad was CIA. They were all part, and they were. I mean, he was part of the Adam, Walsh,
Yeah.
kidnapping. They're
I
all part of
mean,
the government, CIA, sick,
mind
whatever.
control crap. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and that is a lot of it. A lot of
His
our
dad
people
schooled him when
that,
he was a child how to cut up dead
yeah,
animals.
and
They'd
a
go pick
lot
up
of
dead
our,
animals in the road, bring them in the garage, and then dissect them.
yeah. But I mean, a lot of people are just shit. I had a thought. Susie kept cutting me off, and I couldn't. What was I gonna say? Talking about
A
incident.
lot of people are mind controlled from youth by their upbringing.
Yeah, and a lot of the times, like I said, when I found out what they would do to homeless people, I gained a whole new respect for these homeless people that sit in the streets and they would say crazy things when people went by. I gained a new respect for them when I found out they were taking homeless people off the streets, taking them to Matad, putting them in these chairs, and experimenting with them with mind shit. And then they would put them back out on the streets. Those people were already screwed up to begin with because a lot of them were from Vietnam or, different things like that. They
Abusive
were already
households.
homeless,
Yeah.
and so they just took them and screwed them up even more. Some of these homeless people that people are afraid of out on the streets, they're like that because they were abused like that. You know, they, what? People are just bad. And people are bad from the highest top of our pyramid all the way down to the bottom. People are just bad. They're bad. You know? I mean, but there are a lot of people that have been bad in the past that have found salvation and become good. Okay? You can always be redeemed for the things that you do. And I do believe that there are quite a few of them that have done it while they were in prison. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer, when he was there, he didn't deny anything he did. Some of the people that were in the prison with him used to sit there and say he was just the nicest guy, but he was smart and he liked to read and all this stuff. It I think one of them even said that he handed him a Bible one day to sit down and read, and he started reading the Bible. People can be redeemed no matter
See,
what
I believe,
they do.
Brenda, that's a good point because I actually believe that salvation is available for anyone. And it doesn't matter who that one is or how bad their crimes or sins or life or past was or present or whatever. It doesn't even matter if they're the son of Satan himself, because in the Gnostic story about Yaldabaoth, his son Sabaoth or like Zeus and the little Zeus, right? They called it. He was the son of Satan, and he heard the truth about Christ and everything, and rejected his father. It said the Satan, and chose to follow the good, and he was redeemed, and he started his road of salvation. So even
Now,
the
I
son of
do
Satan
believe,
found salvation with God. You
right,
know.
but I do believe that the ones that have the hardest time are the ones that do bad things to very small children. Children when they're still virtuous. I'm not talking about
Well,
teenagers. I'm talking about those ones that don't know right from wrong because they're too young. So
I think it's kind of like I was thinking the other day that like well, they have to want it first of all. So yes, it's
yes,
available to them, but they have to want it. And
Has to be a
the trick
choice.
with
Yeah.
them wanting to want it is some of them are just psychopaths. They're just like
yeah,
they got the perversion
yep.
and
And they
yeah,
not only have to want it, once they take it,
Step away, repent, and walk in a
they
different
have to
direction.
walk in
Yeah.
a different light. That's right.
whereas like Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't really aware of what he was doing or why he did it, right?
I think that Jeffrey
It's
was
MKU.
the high. I think he
Yeah,
was
I think
that,
so.
but I also
Yeah.
think that by doing that to him, I think that he
He was
was
schooled from a
quite
child. Yeah.
bit autistic, and
Mm,
by doing that stuff to him, it confused him even more. I'm
mm,
not condoning anything that he did. Don't anybody get me wrong there. I'm really not.
yeah,
But
right.
I think that with his case, like he wasn't like per se. What was the other one?
Marilyn Manson,
Ted
Charlie.
Bundy.
Oh yeah.
Ted Bundy was just an evil, sadistic fuck. I'm just gonna tell you, that's it. But with Jeffrey, I think that his issues were something different completely. And by putting him in an MK Ultra setting and being groomed and being, all this other stuff, I think that really messed him up to where I think that if he met somebody that actually loved him and cared for him and stayed with him, where he had a relationship with that person, I think that everything he did would have stopped. He was just afraid of being alone. He didn't want to be alone because the guy was tortured and God only knows what else happened to him.
Yeah.
So, and that was his big thing. He didn't want to be alone. Now, had I known him, I would have told him to get a dog. Get a dog. You will never be alone. You won't even be able to go to the bathroom alone. Just get a dog. But, I mean, sometimes people deal with what they're dealt with, in whatever way they want to do it, right, wrong, or indifferent. And it's a sad case. But nowadays, I know back when I was younger, yeah, you had your occasional kidnapping here and there that you heard of, but it wasn't so blatant like it is now, where you have 30, 40, 60 kids come up missing all at once, and where'd they go? They were just on a bus. Where'd they go? It wasn't that bad. Like you heard of one or two here that came up missing walking from here or there, but
Yeah.
not like now. Now they're just blatant about it. They just get out there and they just, we're just going to steal this whole bus full of people.
Because it's only going to be on the news for a couple days. So
Yeah. And then that's why they got rid of the back in the day when they had kids' pictures on the milk cartons.
milk cartons.
They got rid of those because the milk cartons went all over the world. Okay? So you would spot somebody's kid in Germany that got stolen from America because of the milk carton. They couldn't have that. They had to get
The
rid of
beginning of
those.
the internet. Yeah. The milk carton.
Yeah. And now they can't get away with a whole lot of stuff without people being nosy about it because we do have this thing called the internet. And the internet's forever, people. Gets on
Yeah.
there, it's there. And we have people like NSA. Do you think that they don't listen to every freaking show that goes out? They do. If they know that we figured something out, they're like, oh, those people are smart. But if not, and we're on the right direction, they're laughing their asses off. But, I mean, you can't do, like I said earlier, why are people watching stupid, disgusting things and videos on the internet? You're being watched. And you can bet your butt if you got kitty porn on your computer, they know. And you'll get caught.
Or just even general porn, because this is what was it? Okay, there's something that was just purchased by somebody, and I think it was Israel. I don't know, but they're going to be spying. Okay, what it does is allow them. It's some kind of app, but it allows them access to everything on your phone. So basically, what they can do is watch you in real time and see everything you're looking at, every Google search that you have, and use it against you as personally for blackmail.
Yep.
You know, on an individual basis, not like you're just anybody important, but just like you're.
There were things that
small time.
I was looking into one time. I was looking into things and I could not find what I was looking for. And then I was told to try this certain spot on the dark web. And I'm going to tell you, for anybody that has never done it, do not go on the dark web ever. It is the most weirdest place in the world. So I did this looking for this information. I remember I found what I was looking for. And then I got a message. Don't ever do that again. Stay out of there. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oops. But,
Jeez.
So you cannot tell
Did
me
you go in there and
a lot.
investigate something? Is that what you were looking for, something that
Yep.
you're trying to validate? Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
Steve sent me this video. Steve actually sent me this video, so I'll be able to reference it. Okay. I'll let you know what it was, but about the app or whatever was going on where they'll be able to start seeing what you're looking at on your computer and blackmailing you personally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they do all the time. Glenn and I do that show Monday through Friday. And
So you think you're on your own and you're being private, but
yeah, and you're not.
Yeah,
I don't care what
no.
you're doing. You're not private. Nothing is private on the internet. I don't care. It's not. On your TV, the whole 9 yards. Like I said, I crack myself up because, my TV stays on 24/7. So I hope these people get a good raise, because when I go in and take a shower, because my bathroom is so small and I have my walker in there to get to my wheelchair, I have to come out in the living room to get dressed. So my little hefty fat butt will come in here butt naked and think, ha 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 ha, y'all have to look at this shit. I don't envy your job, buddy.
Brenda, you're too funny.
I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, they're going to look, they're going to spy, they're going to do whatever they can. They have technology where they can sit outside your car and they can see and hear everything you're doing through your walls.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have privacy. I don't care wherever you go. You don't have privacy, period. You might as well just throw that shit in the trash because you don't have it.
That's like me in my dream. I'm hiding under the grass and they can still see me and know I'm there and hear me.
Right.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, it don't matter where you go.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was you, Suzy, that sent me that video. Did it sound familiar?
Which one?
The country that's like using something to track our information, but not just our information like out of our wallet, but like what your Google
Yes, I sent
searching.
that to you. Yeah.
You did send it to me. Okay. That's
Yeah.
I knew I just watched it today.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one, huh?
That was a good one. Kind of scary though.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. So I mean, nothing's private, nothing's personal. I used to sit there and think when I was younger, girls, when you first start growing up, you're kind of like, cover yourself with a towel or do this and that. And I figured out when I got pregnant with my daughter, nothing is private ever once you have a baby. You might as well just forget that. Forget it. They can try with all their might to try to cover you up, but when you're sitting there pushing a baby out and somebody opens the door that goes into the hallway and everybody's walking by, forget it. There goes your privacy. I mean,
yeah, you don't get a lot of privacy in hospitals or prisons, right?
Yeah. Joan, what interesting. I did not know of her professional background. Whose professional background, hun? But yeah, I mean it's just there's no privacy. Mm-mm.
No, and the game is getting trickier and trickier too. So your privacy is getting less and less. But if you think about living in, let's take it to the extreme, space, in an advanced civilization, with all these celestials around you, and you have shapeshifters, and you got people that can walk up to you and look like you or look like your friend. The game, the level of life goes up a whole lot. It takes a
True.
lot more. Yeah, it takes a lot more to figure out if someone's lying, not lying, if they are who they are or not who they are. And we are entering those stages with AI and them being able to reduplicate things. And I mean, it's just going to get tricky. How will we
And
know
just
the
think
truth?
about the level of remote viewers that can just walk in and be watching you, listen to you. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
endless,
Yeah.
thing about what really goes on in this world. People have no real clue how messed up it is.
Well, and this world's not what everybody thinks it is, anyways. So, but until people
No,
get
it's not.
a real reality check um, of how it really is, and they understand they're just gonna. You know what? And maybe some people are made to live their life with their head in the sand. Maybe they're just better off with their happy little go lucky lives and the things that they do. Maybe it's just better for them, you know? I
Of
mean,
course it is,
that's
because ignorance is bliss.
right. Right. So and honestly, knowing things and being aware and all that stuff, it just racks my brain sometimes, and I just
It's a
sit
heavy
here.
burden sometimes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Especially when there's things that I know or that I find out that I'm not allowed to say. So, it is. It's like, oh, gosh,
Yeah. Not.
don't tell me, don't tell me nothing else. Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
know.
Not. We can agree to disagree, but we'll agree not to discuss that. It's kind of like
Yes.
dismissive. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
The life of people
when I
who are diverse.
say, right, like when I say, well, I can't talk about that. And it's not that I don't want to. And it's just that if
It's
I
almost
were
like it's
to,
not appropriate
right,
in
it's
the
not a good
reality that we
time.
live in to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a good time to
Not a
bring
good
that
thing to
up.
talk
Okay.
about.
Or
So
if I give my opinion, I might have to tell a little lie in there, and I don't want to do that. So I'm better off just keep my mouth shut and not saying anything.
like
Yeah.
let's maybe give it a name and call it the masses, and we're divergence, right? So you have the
I
masses.
might as well be. It's been 11 years. Oh, wait, what?
It's
The masses?
the masses.
You said we're the virgins.
No, divergence.
Oh,
Divergence.
I thought you said
Divergence.
We're
we're
the
the virgins.
divergence, and you have the masses. To have a society and make it function. Don't you need that, like, slow, dense, don't want, have horse blinders on, head in the sand, um, assuming the position, butt in the air, all that good stuff, um, just to make the world go round? You know what I mean? Those people that want to go home and just read their book and have a nice little simple life, you know what I mean, and not expire to eat. So it's hard to judge them, because I think you need that in a society a little bit, just that. vanilla, or
Yes,
that
Ivy, 3 hours and 20
canvas
minutes
to
to
paint
be
on.
exact. Ivy, do you know if Abe is supposed to have a live tonight? I was up there with him last night and my internet went poof, so that was a sign for me to go to bed. So I didn't know if he was
I
having
don't,
a show tonight.
it's like they're not living in the real world though, Chad.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they living in a fantasy in their brain, that this stuff doesn't exist. It's like they're pretending, they're just playing along and pretending that it's not going on.
It's out of fear. I will say that it's out of fear.
Out of fear? Yeah, they live in fear. And fear
Or
is not
ignorance.
something that
If
God
that's
wants us to have. He says, I didn't give you a spirit of fear, but that of a sound mind. So we're supposed to have a mind that's sound and can balance things. We're not supposed to live in fear. And if those people are living that way out of fear, then they're outside of God's plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that sometimes, well, we have a lot of non-confrontational people that walk around. So maybe it's just best for them to hear things and say okay and just move about than try to dig into anything, because I'm telling you, rabbit holes started over here in 2009, and once you get in them, you can never get out of them
Well, you know what would
because
be nice, Brenda, if the world if most of the people in the world had turned on all their spiritual gifts and their psychic abilities to just know these things, and then there wouldn't be any debating or question or trying to figure things out, because everybody would just know it's true or not true, and everybody would be all the wiser and happier for it in the end. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, sometimes I kind of think that I lack that one ability to be able to see things that are going to happen unless I'm dreaming. And that doesn't happen a lot. But I would like to I would trade my ability that I have to see and communicate with spirits, because they drive me crazy sometimes. I would I would trade that. The other day I got out of the bathroom, there was something in my house and I was like, man, what? But I would trade that to be able to have at least just a little bit of knowledge of what to prepare for, because I mean, Jack and I were preppers. I've got, you would not believe, even down to the solar radio, the AM FM radio that you can do solar and all that stuff. But so I'm always prepared for something. But I would just like to know, I guess, that there's a nice big bright light at the end of the tunnel. When all the crap is done, when all the bullshit stops, are there going to be flying cars? Are people going to be friendly? Are people going to be not backstabbing each other? And, give us a reason
Blowing up
to
children
get,
yeah.
give us a reason to not have to have weapons. And if there is peace and serenity in all the lands, and it stays that way, then there's no reason for anybody to have to worry about ever protecting themselves. Where is that? Where's that world? You know, obviously not here. So I think I want to take Elon up on his offer, and I think he should just send me to Mars and I'll go help him colonate it, and we'll grow stuff, because in that way I don't have to deal with all the stupid crap that goes on here.
Brenda, you know how it is though. Once you get to Mars, you'll just want to go to Jupiter.
Maybe.
Mars is like apparently Mars is a planet that got nuked pretty bad, so it's like a desert.
I was watching a history
It's not
channel
even a
from
planet.
Mars.
I think it's just a land outside the ice wall
Right.
that we can
I was
access that's in pretty bad shape, basically.
I was watching this thing on the history on one of the history channels, and they brought up this thing about Mars, that Mars, underneath its surface, it has water like our oceans. It has everything we had. So what they're saying is, what happened was Mars used to be colonnaded like the Earth, and it started to deplete and get bad because of the people on it. So they
Well, I think
moved
what probably
people
happened
here and let that go.
What
And I'm
probably
like,
happened is it's within our reach to get to Mars. That's why the governments are going to allow certain governments to go there. That's why they're talking about it being a reality that we're going to actually, go to Mars. But I think that what happened on
reality,
that
we're going to jump over the ice
landmass
wall.
was a huge nuclear war that destroyed most
Man,
of it. But there's water there because it's part of Earth, you know. But it's just they you know they found it a nice place to live outside of like another country to get away from
right.
whatever. So a lot of apparently elite people want to go there to get away from everybody else.
Well, then I have an idea. Why don't we take these elites and they can take their government with us, because
They
we
can
have
go to
smart
Mars.
people here.
We'll just
That's
let them
right.
go there and we'll
We
stay
can
here.
learn how
Yeah.
to govern ourselves. We'll stay here and flourish, and they can go make their own frickin' money and quit stealing ours and using it for stupid shit.
Yeah, they can go
Okay.
That's
live
what
on Mars.
happened.
Because I do wonder, like, in our truest form, I don't know if I agree that humanity's born evil. I just wonder, because like that Tower of Babel, that the jealous God had to tear down and then they had to divide us and give us languages, because I think in our nature we do unite and we do work for good. It's just always been um the setup, the game, the elite or the ones governing us, the evil ones, kind of like causing all this turmoil and things that don't really naturally exist within our community. I don't know. I hope that's what it's like. You know what I mean? Because I understand there's cartels and there's gangs, but I also understand that
Well, they
poverty
can
and
take
different
them
things
with them.
there's certain things that caused all those things, and it was by design. So if this hatred that's being generated wasn't being created by design, is it naturally there? I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. I hope humanity doesn't naturally kill itself
I just seen a good question, and
or
it
steal from
says,
itself. Yeah.
who destroyed Tartaria across the planet, and are there Tartarians still alive? I would think probably not, and if they were, they would be like 150 years old, I think.
I think I was told, okay, Penny Bradley said there are two of them that are left, I think, if that's what I believe she was referring to. And they're in hiding or something. Or if there is, then it's probably underground in Australia somewhere or something like that. The Anunnaki.
No? And then
Probably underground, something like that.
there was something else that I found out about the Great Wall of China. Do you know the Great Wall of China was not built to keep anybody in?
You're
It
right.
was built by the Tartarians to keep people out of Tartaria.
Wow.
And they were conquered. Why? Probably because they didn't have weapons. Oh. But yeah, so after they were conquered, then it became the Great Wall of China. And I thought to myself, well, that's pretty bad. They just stole a wall and renamed it.
Yeah.
Because they tried to
That happens a lot.
eliminate everything of Tartaria. You
And
know?
if you dig into the soils of China, don't you find white-skinned, red-haired people?
That's what they
So, I
say.
mean, yeah,
Evelyn?
everything's just been reset and yeah.
They keep doing that. I don't think they could get away with doing it this time unless it was something that was done by timeline. Because there are too many of us that are aware of what they've done in the past. And, like every time
True.
I see a big old hurricane's coming, we're going to get hit. I'm like, oh, here we go. They're going to try to reset us again. I wish they would find a real job instead of sitting on their butts trying to find ways to destroy America and destroy the planet and destroy everything. And quit faking their climate agenda. Yes, people, climate changes every year. That's what happens. It's like, jeez. Somebody told me the other day, oh God, climate change here in Arizona, it's like almost 130. I was out there in the early 2000s, the late 90s, and it was 130. I had heat stroke because of it, because I came from California and didn't know any better. And the stupid me was sitting in a parking lot without my car AC on, waiting on my brother. And after 45 minutes, I drove away. When I got across the bridge, there was a hotel there, and I made it into the hotel. And I just wanted a glass of water, and
That's
I
awful.
passed
Yeah.
out, and I woke up
Wow.
in the hospital 3 days later. I had heat stroke, and they're like, from now on, you got to make sure you have water with you no matter where you go. I'm like, I'm on it. Wish you would have said that before, but I'd never been there before that. I didn't know any better.
Wow.
Did not know any better. So after that, I carried a bottle of water with me and I drank it, and I didn't give a shit if it was warm, hot, or cold. It was water, I was drinking it. Because what that did, because I had a heat stroke, what that did is it made it to where, like, when I get overheated, my body contains water. I don't sweat like normal people.
Okay.
And I can't sweat, so it's hard for me to be out in the sun. That's one of the reasons why when it's real hot in the summer here, because the medication I take makes me sick enough. But if I'm out in the sun and I get hot, I get really sick. So all summer long, I'm like a recluse. I just kind of barricade myself in my house and put up my dark curtains, and which kind of sucks because I like the sunlight. But I take vitamin D to replace what I miss.
Good.
And every now and then I'll open up my curtain a little bit and let some sun in for a little while. But if it starts warming up in here, I have to close it back up. So, but yeah, now I can go out in the sun in the wintertime when it's cooler. As long as there's a breeze and it's cooler, I can be out. I grew up in California. I love the sun. My mom used to call me and my brother Bo in the summertime her little Hispanic babies, because my skin, if I go sit out in the sun, I might get a real deep red look like a sunburn, but the next day I am so tan it isn't even funny. I mean, I tan real quick. So,
Not
I
me.
used to love it. I grew up on the beach, you know. But now I had that heat stroke when I was in Arizona, and it ruined sunbathing for me. Period.
Messed you up pretty good, huh?
Oh yeah.
But
So I said I can't sleep
before
when
we
it's
could,
hot.
before we could even consider global warming and stuff like that, we should talk about weather manipulation.
Yeah. Right.
Because
Quit playing with that. Get those planes out of the sky, from seeing the whatever it's
Seeing
seeding.
the clouds.
it's
Yeah.
been a lot
Yeah.
less. Have you
Okay.
noticed? I mean, no
Yeah, since the
chemtrails since.
government shut down,
Yeah,
it has. It's been
there's
a
been
lot.
a
It's been kind
couple,
of nice.
a couple here and there I've seen, but
Yep.
really, It's clear
No
skies.
checkerboards when you walk outside.
No.
Yeah, stop doing that. Quit
No
playing
more
with the
spider webs in
machine.
the sky, huh?
Yep.
Somebody
Quit
said
playing with
gel
those
was falling from
machines.
the sky earlier in the comment, and it was
I
giving people.
remember hearing something about that, but that
Yeah.
happened a long time ago too. So it's
I think it
happening
happens in
again.
different places. Yeah.
I think at one time they were blaming it on seagulls throwing up or something. I don't know. They were saying all kinds of stupid shit.
Oh, yeah.
And lately, and see, and that's another thing because you still have
Right.
some of you have quite a bit of Gen X that's still around. So some of the lies that they told back then, we remember, and they're trying to tell them again now, and it's like, let's shut up. There ain't no way. That didn't happen twice in my lifetime. That just doesn't happen. So they think they're sneaky. That's why they make us all seem like we're crazy. Just so, ooh, Penny. Oh, let me show you what Penny Bradley had posted. You guys see this? Let's see. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Look at that.
Dang, that's pretty elaborate. What the heck?
Look at that thing.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember those gyroscope things that you buy when you're a kid? And yeah, like somebody went wild on a gyroscope deal.
Yeah, but it's got. Is that
You know what I mean?
lettering? Is that some kind of lettering?
See if I can look at it better.
Those look like letters, but I don't know from what language.
Spirograph is what Joanne said, yeah.
That sure is something else. I like it. It's pretty neat, kind of. Looks too complicated for me to understand. Other than it has a star in it that I don't really particularly care for. So.
Yeah, it's got that triangle inside the triangle again in the middle, like what Ashtar
Right
was
there,
in.
and then it's got
that same
this
Jewish
up here.
Jewish star.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the Israeli star in the middle, and then the satanic star, and then it's got like it looks like the Baphomet one on the right. Bunch of symbols, man, and it almost looks like Muslim at the bottom. You know, there's like Muslim type
Om or something. Like
something.
Sanskrit.
You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. Some other. I don't know what the ones on the left
It's
are.
got a lot of wheels. So here's a thought. What if that
I'm not sure what those
is
are.
a drawing of a spaceship? It's got hallways. It's got a main place. You can get to wherever you need to go, no matter what hallway you take.
There's just so many sigils and letters and symbols and
yeah.
And if you notice, you know what? It's weird. Maybe you have the one big ship, which they're saying that's Israel is in control, and all these other little ships are like all the little gods, all the other little ships around that are like they kind of look like because they look like they're layered. You see what I mean? Like some are higher than others, bigger than others, more maybe they have more people, more control. Maybe it represents the gods over the different nations, and their ships are represent. These are ships, and their symbols are related to the different peoples.
Well, I just thought about that.
You
That's
got
my
1, 2, 3,
my
4,
my
5,
Stargate mind trying to talk.
Oh, that's a good
Maybe that could be a ship.
5,
That's a
6,
good
7,
thought.
8.
But I still want to
You
know.
have 14. You have 14 small circles, and then the one big one. So there's like 15 ships.
Now, but I still would like to know what this lettering is and what language it's in. Because it's here, here, and all the way on the inside.
Yeah, like they're writing something. They wrote. It's some kind of, those kind of. It kind of looks like could be Hebrew. It could be something.
Could be
That all the way
Tartarian for
around.
all we know.
All the way, just the letters all the way around that are just floating in the air.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But that one, you look at that one second biggest circle. It has a big triangle in it too. But it's connected to like those 3 other ships, and then there's one with a big star underneath that one. But you notice that one is actually connected to 3 others, like in another triangle. So it's like 4 ships are kind of connected on that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you got that line with the triangle pointing to those other 3 stars or circles. Interesting.
I just happened to look over on my Facebook and seen that Penny put a post up, and that's what it was. I was like, "Oh, what is that?"
Right? That's pretty wild.
Let's see what she says.
Yeah, they're always marking up our Earth, aren't they, with these little symbols? They're graffiti. They're graffiti.
They have taken everything good in life, everything good in my childhood, and they turned it all into Satanism. They pissed me off. I just want to slap them.
Wouldn't do any good.
Yeah, I know. Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
You mean Satan Claus?
Yep.
They ruined cartoons, and even the ones that weren't bad. What happened? Cancel culture canceled them.
Yeah.
They hit everything. You think when you're growing up and you're a young kid, especially when they came out with Disney, Disney was the thing. Kids love Disney, and then you turn around and find out how bad it actually is.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
Well,
I
Michael
cannot believe
Laney, the
this.
guy that I told you that the Michael Laney, who was the vice president of Walt Disney, he's the guy that tried to shoot me, and
Right.
and because he was trying to get my ex to murder this girl so he could be with the boyfriend. Okay, so
Nice.
whatever that was all about, but anyway, so Michael Laney, he's vice president of Walt Disney down in Orlando, and this was back in 82, right? 1982. So he was responsible, guys, for many, many years of making these really perverted cartoons, movies at Walt Disney. So a lot of these films and these shows, Michael Laney had his hand in putting this stuff in there, like all this nasty stuff in there for the kids to watch.
Where did all these, I mean, just pedos and all that stuff, where did these people come from?
Hell.
I mean, they just like popped up out of nowhere.
Hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when you listen to those Grimm's fairy tales from way back in the day in German, like the original ones, I think it's always been around. Eating children, hunting children.
Look at the Pied Piper. The story of the Pied Piper. Steals
Jack
the
and the
children, takes them into
Beanstalk.
underground tunnels,
Yep. Jack and the Beanstalk. He always smelled the kids and wanted to eat them.
Little Red Riding Hood, yeah.
Yeah. God, they ruined everything.
Hansel and Gretel.
They ruined everything. And you
But
know
those
what?
were the watered down versions. Like if you read the
Yeah.
original versions, it's like, what the heck were they
But
just
you know
eating
what?
kids back in those days or something?
So, what do we have to turn to now? Okay. They took everything from childhood and they screwed it all up. They gave it everything a bad name. You know, well, here, my grandson can't play with this, car from Cars because this happened or this is a symbol or this bad on it.
Yeah.
What are kids supposed to do now? I mean, just what are they supposed to do? I think that it's how dare they? How dare they put their hands on everything that there is?
These people get in
And
these positions on purpose to do that.
yeah, that's true. So, shall we say it's better to let the robots do all the jobs and people stay home with their wealth and they don't do anything? That way they're not getting into none of our industries or anything like that? No, that's not right either. We already have a bunch of lazy people as it is now. We don't need no more.
Whatever it is, it has to be synergy. I mean, you can't have something serving you, it has to just assist you but
Oh,
but
I'm going to tell
synergy.
you, I watched this thing where Elon Musk had that robot that, communicates with people. And I thought to myself, that thing could assist me so much. Like, even if I fall out of my chair and I fall on the floor, that thing would be able to pick me up. We wouldn't have to call 911. I can't reach the dishes. It can put the dishes up for me after I wash them, or it can get me down a bowl, and I don't have to bother Jack. It can dust up high for me. It can
There you go.
scrub
Put
the
it to good use.
toilets.
Yeah.
Or you
I
can
could put that to
work
good
on
use.
your psionics
Yeah, I
and
got
try
a
and get
flat
that
tire.
bowl from that countertop to your try to get it to
There
float
you
to
go.
you, Brenda.
I have a
Hey, I
flat
like
on
that
my
idea.
wheelchair.
Yeah.
Fix it. Fix it. My battery's dead on my wheelchair. Can you please come plug your finger in it and charge it up for me, please? I could use something like that, for help. Because God forbid you try to hire people to come. My daughter did that. My daughter hired me a cleaning crew of 2 just to deep clean my house from top to
Nice.
bottom, okay?
Nice.
They got here and they looked around. They're like, what do you want us to do? Because my house is clean.
Oh.
I said, well, just wipe off the top of the kitchen cabinets and, just dust a few things I can't reach. And the other girl went in the bathroom and I told her, scrub everything, the light fixtures, everything in this bathroom. I want it scrubbed from the ceiling to the floor. Please. Everything. She's like, okay. Those 2 were not even here an hour. And that was also taking a break. Okay. They weren't even here an hour. Do you know that they charged my daughter $345?
See, you could have bought a robot for that.
For not
He could have
could
worked
have
full
bought
time
me
for you.
I could have bought me one of those new arm things that stretch all the way out and I could have just dusted myself.
Right?
It's like,
So when you said that, Chad, I was thinking the word manifest, right? And then I thought about that movie Manifest, right? When you're talking about using your ability to do
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And then this is a funny story. When I first moved onto this property, we were getting the internet service and we called the internet people to come lay the line. So they come out and they were trenching the line And I was watching that show Manifest, where that airplane disappears for like 15 years, and then it reappears as the people, and
Oh yeah.
they didn't age, but everybody else did. And then they come back, and when they come back with all these special gifts, and like they have all these like spiritual gifts, like they met, apparently what they remember is they go into a cloud, they met God, and God gave them these special gifts and sent them back to help people, right? And a really cool show. So I'm watching that show. Meanwhile, these guys are out there digging my it's such a weird synchronicity, the story is. They're digging a line from the road up to my house to put in high speed internet, right? Well, while they're digging, they run across my water line and cut it, and water line gets broke. So we have to turn the well off. We turn the well off. So they dig it out, and they're like, "We got to run to town to go get PVC." So they run to town. They go get the PVC. They come back. Well, they go down there as they're trenching. They go down there and they can't find like where they cut the pipe, where it cut it in the ground with the trencher. They can't find the other side of the PVC pipe, like where to connect it to. So they're digging and they're digging, and I mean they're out there for like hours and they're digging, and they're like, I go out there and they're like, we dug for like 10 feet and we can't find the other end of the water line, but it's not here. Like we didn't pull it up. It's like gone. Like we don't know, and they're freaking out. And I'm like, I get in the hole and I'm looking and I'm like, because you can see where the water line, the pipe, right where they cut it,
Yeah.
but you can't see where they cut it. Like there's no pipe. Okay, and there's no cut pipe or anything laying around. There's nothing. So they get these parts and they come back and they're there and they're like, so they keep digging. Then they get to 15 feet. They still can't find the end of the pipe. Like 15 feet away, there's still no pipe. 20 feet, no pipe. 25 feet, these poor guys were here till like midnight digging. These two guys, and they had a whole crew out here. They had lights out here. They're like baffled because now they got 30 feet and they found the end of the pipe. 30 feet in between vanished, just like that airplane. While I'm watching that movie Manifest, and that airplane vanishes for 15 years, my 30 feet of my PVC vanish into thin air. And they never found it. And they had to go back to the hardware store, get more PVC pipe, because I had to go 30 feet and connect it. And they were all scratching their heads going, that doesn't even make sense. Like, where did 30 feet just disappear? And I'm like, God, that's just like the movie. How do you explain that? Did it go through a time? You know what I mean? It's like, that was a wild story, man. I was like, crazy. Sometimes I talk to the internet people and I said, remember when they came out here and they dug that? And they go, yeah, that was so weird.
Well, guys,
how do you explain that stuff? Yeah. Go ahead.
No.
Maybe. I might just go to bed and leave Suzy here. No, we're not doing that because
we'll have another show. We'll pick it up with more stories. Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, guys, we are going to get out of here for the night. We have been on just almost getting ready to go on 4 hours again.
I can't even. I'm like thinking, how did we make it this long? I figured at least 3, but
well, you who slept all day till 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Yes, because it was foggy. I was going to go get hay today, and there was fog, and I couldn't see 30 feet. There we go, 30 feet in front of my face. I couldn't see nothing for 30 feet. I told you that, and then I'm talking 30 feet. That's weird. And so I got up this morning. I couldn't see nothing. By 11 o'clock, it's still foggy, and I'm like, heck, I'm going back to bed. I can't drive in that. I can't see. So I just laid there. What am I going to do? It cleared up, but it was too late by the time I got up to go get the hay because it gets dark at 5. So, it's just too late. So that's why I slept all day.
Thank you.
I was at a mushroom conference.
You were at a what?
I said I've been at a mushroom conference all day.
What is a mushroom conference?
I live in a mushroomy area. That's like where they
Oh.
all they all come together and they bring all their mushrooms and put on their displays and have conferences and do like identification walks and stuff like that. So
Like
Run around and
wildlife
talk about
mushroom?
pink and purple elephants and
I like to hunt mushrooms and go mushroom foraging. So yeah, it's
Oh
cool to
man,
go
we've
to
been having
that
these
event.
weird white mushrooms popping up everywhere, and I was telling Joel, I said, "Look at those little white mushrooms everywhere. What are those things?
Yeah,
They're just like little balls."
mushrooms.
we're having
Yeah.
a big mushroom season this year. It's the best one we've had in a long time. So
Huh.
yeah.
That's wild.
Well, Brenda, thank you very much for
Yeah,
having
it's
me
good,
on.
guys.
Thank you for coming on. I was gonna message you. I was just not. I didn't have myself together. But on a lighter note, I want to leave us with something real quick.
Mhm.
I seen these bar stools before, and I want some.
Bar
'Cause
stools.
they are amazing. Yes. So look at this bar stool.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. That's funny.
I just had to.
That's a good laugh. I know, right? Is that Laura Eisenhower too? Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
I like her. She's crazy. But anyways, all right, guys, we will see you later on. Don't forget to join us during the week, Monday through Friday, 1:00 Central Time. And Steve's been coming up with different times. Like he'll say 6, but then he doesn't start till 7. So did Illinois not fall back with Texas? Because we were on the same time.
Good question.
And then
Yeah, I
now
don't know.
Oh, the
I'm
time.
gonna have to
What time?
ask
What
him.
time? Well, we have like in Texas right now. It's
Good night,
it's
Brenda.
11:58. It's 11:58. It's what I got.
Yes, it is. So I don't know what happened
What time do
there,
you
but I'm
have,
gonna have to ask him.
Chad?
Who?
What time,
Oh,
Chad?
Chad's 2 hours behind us.
Yeah, I'm at 10
Oh.
o'clock.
Oh.
Or 9:58.
Okay. Wow.
You're welcome, Ivy, Brent. Good night, guys. Thanks for
Yeah,
tuning
guys.
in. And we will see you later. And like always, everybody, please be kind to one another. Unless they really deserve to be smacked in the head, then go ahead and do it. We will see you later.
Good night,
Have a
everybody.
good night, guys.